Chapter 265. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body moved and arrived in front of Huang Liang in a few flashes. Subsequently, Mo Qingyun raised a red silk saber in his hand and slashed down at Huang Liang. As soon as the red silk saber was drawn, a terrifying yuan power erupted from the saber. A terrifying flame surged and transformed into a fire dragon saber ray. After the fire dragon saber ray was formed, a mysterious energy was emitted from it, causing the fire dragon saber ray to become even stronger. Fire Ultimacy, Level 3 Fire Ultimacy. How is this possible? Someone at the 5th level of the true energy realm actually comprehended Level 3 Fire Ultimacy. This kid's talent is monstrous. The pupils of Huang Chao and the others constricted when they sensed the might of Mo Qingyun's strike, and they were extremely shocked in their hearts. Mo Qingyun's current performance had once again exceeded their expectations, causing them to worry for Huang Liang. Huang Liang, watch out! After a short moment of shock, Huang Chao's expression changed, and he warned Huang Liang. Jade Peak Tyrant Fist. Hearing Huang Chao's warning, Huang Liang's expression turned serious as he raised his hand to meet the attack. As Huang Liang punched out, the yuan power in his body poured out like water from an open dam, transforming into a huge Jade Peak shadow. As soon as the Jade Peak shadow was formed, an oppressive force was emitted from it, causing the ground to shake. Bang! The fire dragon saber ray slashed at the Jade Peak shadow, causing an earth-shattering sound. Flames burst forth, and rays of light shot out in all directions. At the same time, a terrifying yuan power storm erupted from the Jade Peak shadow and frantically swept out in all directions. Crack, crack, crack. As the yuan power storm swept out, a crisp sound came from the Jade Peak shadow. Subsequently, the illusory Jade Peak exploded like a celestial maiden scattering flowers, transforming into numerous fragments that scattered throughout the heavens and the earth. When the Jade Peak shadow exploded, Huang Liang, who was connected to it, immediately felt a terrifying impact. His body was sent flying as blood gushed out from his mouth. Seeing that Huang Liang had been severely injured by his blade, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He once again approached Huang Liang and slashed out with his blade. "Brat, how dare you!" Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Huang Chao's expression suddenly changed. He shouted at Mo Qingyun and blasted out a palm at Mo Qingyun. Irate. Facing Huang Chao's attack, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. Purple light flickered in his eyes as he shot out a beam of light at Huang Chao. "You can't stop me." Then, the purple light shot out from Mo Qingyun's eyes like a shooting star, shooting towards Huang Chao with extreme speed. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Huang Chao's face twitched. He quickly retreated and raised his hand to block Mo Qingyun's eye beam. Mountain shaking dragon palm Huang Chao waved his fists and blasted out a few palms before he managed to block Mo Qingyun's eye beam. However, when he blocked Mo Qingyun's eye beam, his head suddenly buzzed as if he had been hit by something. Huang Chao's soul was hit and his face turned pale. He said in horror, "This eye beam is the eye demon's eye beam. He's been possessed by the eye demon." The eye demon's eye beam. Hearing Huang Chao's words, the people on top of him trembled and their faces were filled with horror. The brat in front of them was actually possessed by the eye demon. A martial artist possessed by the eye demon was extremely powerful. After realizing this, Huang Chao and the others looked at Mo Qingyun in a different light. Pucci. At this moment, while Huang Chao and the others were still in shock, Mo Qingyun's red silk saber stabbed into Huang Liang's chest and killed him. Seeing this, everyone's expression changed again and their eyes were filled with respect. Huang Liang had been killed. Even though Huang Chao had tried to stop him, he had still been killed by Mo Qingyun. A level 5 true energy realm martial artist had attacked 2 Yuan Dan realm martial artists at the same time. In the end, one of them had died and the other had retreated. This battle record was too shocking. At this moment, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun had undergone a huge change. This brat actually has such strength. No wonder he can show off in the true energy realm battlefield. Huang Chao was enraged. He clenched his fists and glared at Mo Qingyun. However, he had to admit that Mo Qingyun's strength had far exceeded his expectations. Compared to the anger of Huang Chao and the others, Ling Luo and the others revealed ecstatic expressions when they saw this. Boss is indeed the boss. Even when facing a Yuan Dan realm martial artist, he's still so powerful. This brat is actually so strong. I'll go drink some wine to calm myself down. The gap between us is getting bigger. It seems like we can't surpass him. At this moment, Long Yuqian and the others were overjoyed and smiled brightly. Is this little brother Qingyun's true strength? Is he really at level 5 true energy realm? Mo Feiyu was shocked. He could not calm himself down for a long time. Mo Qingyun's strength had completely exceeded his expectations. So he's so powerful. What kind of person is he? Wang Zishu's beautiful eyes flashed as she smiled sweetly. Her small hands held the corner of her shirt tightly as she was extremely excited. While Lu Fengliang and the others were overjoyed, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to them, "Brother Lu, take Uncle Mo to the side to recover. Leave these people to me." From a moment he saw Mo Feiyu, Mo Qingyun realized that Mo Feiyu's injuries were not light. He needed to recover as soon as possible. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu's expression changed slightly as he hesitated. His injuries were indeed not light. However, as a Yuan Dan realm cultivator, he felt that it was inappropriate to let a true energy realm cultivator take care of this alone. Uncle Mo, just listen to boss. Since he said so, then it's definitely not a problem. Seeing the hesitation on Mo Feiyu's face, Ling Luo, who was at the side, smiled faintly and said a heartless sentence to Mo Feiyu. Ling Luo had developed a blind trust in Mo Qingyun. He felt that Mo Qingyun could handle anything. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Mo Feiyu hesitated for a while before he stopped insisting. He walked over to Ling Luo and the others and sat down to recover. However, although Mo Feiyu was recovering, he still paid attention to Mo Qingyun's battle. This was so that if Mo Qingyun was no match for him, he could help him at any time. After all, he was still worried about letting Mo Qingyun, a true energy realm stage 5 cultivator, deal with a group of Yuan Dan realm cultivators. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Huang Chao's face darkened. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, "Kid, you've got guts to face us alone. Do you think you can deal with so many of us by yourself? Actually, in my eyes, it doesn't matter how many of you there are." Hearing Huang Chao's words, Mo Qingyun smiled nonchalantly. He did not take Huang Chao and the others seriously at all. "Kid, you got a big mouth. I'd like to see how capable you are." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Huang Chao's face darkened. He shouted angrily at Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was looking down on them. Soon after, Huang Chao's body moved and shot towards Mo Qingyun. He roared to the people behind him, "Don't just stand there. Attack with me and kill this brat." "Yes, big brother Huang Chao." Hearing Huang Chao's words, the people behind Huang Chao responded and attacked Mo Qingyun together. Mad Dragon Mountain Shaking Palm, Flying Eagle Devil Blade, Great Purple Star Finger. In an instant, all sorts of martial skills were launched at Mo Qingyun, bringing with them a shocking aura. Pill Palace Seal Release. When Huang Chao and the others attacked, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately released the Pill Palace Seal. Immediately, the aura on his body rose rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it reached the 4th level of Yuan Dan Realm. 4th level of Yuan Dan Realm. Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, everyone was shocked. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's performance. Mo Qingyun's cultivation was actually at the 4th level of Yuan Dan Realm. How is this possible? Didn't Mo Qingyun come from the battlefield of the true energy boundary? How could he have the cultivation of a Yuan Dan Realm? At this moment, a strong feeling of confusion arose in everyone's hearts. Mo Qingyun's performance was abnormal. Scarlet Flame Dragon, appear. Soul Change. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun summoned his martial soul and underwent a soul change. Following that, Mo Qingyun's body grew rapidly. He turned into a huge dragon that was more than 20 meters tall and emitted a terrifying dragon's aura. This was a soul change. Looking at the huge figure in front of them, Huang Chao and the others were shocked again. They could not help but show a trace of respect. As Mo Qingyun continued to show his trump cards, they were already afraid of Mo Qingyun. Raptor break. Immediately, Mo Qingyun moved and charged toward Huang Chao and the others. He directly resisted their attacks. Under Mo Qingyun's actions, a terrifying storm formed around him. It was as if countless wind blades were wreaking havoc. This was the wind profound. Bang, bang, bang. As Mo Qingyun approached rapidly, Huang Chao and the others' attacks landed on the storm of wind blades. Immediately, a series of explosions sounded. In the face of Huang Chao and the others' attacks, the storm of wind blades immediately dissipated. After a while, Mo Qingyun's body was revealed. Golden Jade True Body. When the storm of wind blades around him dissipated, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to use the Golden Jade True Body. Immediately, a golden jade luster appeared on his body. His aura arose again, and he easily resisted the attacks of Huang Chao and the others. Seeing this, Huang Chao and the others immediately sneered and said, "Kid, you're too arrogant. Although you're very strong, it's impossible that you can't withstand our combined attack." In Huang Chao's opinion, once the storm of wind blades around Mo Qingyun was broken, Mo Qingyun would definitely die. Is that so? At this moment, just as Huang Chao was speaking proudly, Mo Qingyun said disdainfully, "It's too early for you to be happy. This level of attack can't hurt me." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body appeared in front of everyone again. His body emitted a golden jade luster. Mo Qingyun actually withstood it. Chapter 266. He actually took the attack. Huang Chao's face twitched as he looked at Mo Qingyun with fear in his eyes. He knew extremely clearly in his heart that the degree of terror of their joint attack earlier was something that even a 6th-level Origin Core Stage expert might not be able to receive. However, Mo Qingyun took the attack head-on. This ability was too surprising. He actually took the attack. Seeing this, Mo Feiyu, who was recovering from his injuries, stood up in shock. Soul transformation. Boss can actually perform a soul transformation. I'm really looking forward to entering the Yuan Dan stage and performing a soul transformation. What's there to look forward to? Even if you've soul transformed, you're still a sword. You're still a bitch. Ha! I'm going to drink some wine to calm myself down. Ling Luo, Sister Ruoshui, is a straightforward person. Don't blame her. Your martial soul is indeed a little. After hearing Ling Luo's words, Lu Fangliang and the others could not help but laugh. When Ling Luo saw the expressions of Lu Fangliang and the others, he immediately became speechless. He revealed a gloomy expression. Superb martial soul. His martial soul is actually a superb martial soul. How many secrets does he have? Seeing Mo Qingyun's martial soul, Wang Zishu was slightly surprised. Then, she revealed a brilliant smile that could topple a city. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun's body moved and charged toward Huang Chao and the others. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Huang Chao and the others. In the most primitive and barbaric manner, he knocked Huang Chao and the others off their feet. Bang, bang, bang. Under Mo Qingyun's brutal charge, Huang Chao and the others were sent flying like flowers scattered by a celestial maiden. All of them coughed up blood. One move. With just one move, more than 10 Yuan Dan stage martial artists were severely injured. After seeing this scene, Ling Luo and the others were instantly dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. From Mo Qingyun's performance just now, they knew that Mo Qingyun was very strong. But they never imagined that Mo Qingyun's strength was actually strong to such an extent. A cultivator at the 5th level of the true energy realm had crippled more than 10 Yuan Dan realm cultivators with a single move. Wasn't that a little too overbearing? More importantly, Mo Qingyun had used his body as a weapon to cripple his opponents. Wasn't this method a little too valiant? Big brother Huang Chao, this brat is very strong. We don't seem to be his match. After being bumped by Mo Qingyun, the people behind Huang Chao all revealed bitter expressions as they spoke gloomily to Huang Chao. They were more than a dozen Yuan Dan stage martial artists, but they were actually defeated by a 5th level true energy stage brat. This was too humiliating. Brat, your strength has surprised me. This time it's our loss. Hearing the words of the people behind him, Huang Chao revealed a gloomy expression and said to Mo Qingyun unwillingly, "However, after we leave, I will definitely tell everyone about you being possessed by the Eye Demon. When that time comes, you will be hunted down by countless kingdoms. Let's go." After saying these words, Huang Chao's face darkened. He instructed the people behind him and turned to leave. "You want to leave?" Seeing Huang Chao and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a cold smile. He said playfully, "Do you think you can still leave?" Hearing this, Huang Chao's face darkened. He said coldly, "Brat, I admit that you are very strong, but if we want to leave, you can't stop us. Is that so?" Hearing Huang Chao's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a nonchalant smile. He looked at them and sneered. "In that case, watch carefully." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he directly attacked Huang Chao and the others, once again charging towards them. However, just as Mo Qingyun was about to attack, a group of people quickly arrived. As soon as the group arrived, one of them was overjoyed. He pointed at the cave abode in front and said excitedly, "Brother Kunjin, the entrance to the 5-Direction Palace is right in front. We can enter the 5-Direction Palace from here." When Huang Chao saw the people who had arrived, he was overjoyed. He ran toward them and said excitedly, "Master Kunjin, it's great that you're here. Mo Feiyu is right in front. Quickly take him down." Mo Feiyu? Hearing Huang Chao's words, Lei Kunjin's expression changed. He revealed a trace of joy and turned to look at Mo Feiyu. Seeing Mo Feiyu beside Ling Luo and the others, Lei Kunjin sneered and said coldly, "Mo Feiyu, I didn't expect to see you here. Looks like we're quite lucky." "Big brother Kunjin, this is a good sign." When Lei Kunjin sneered, a middle-aged man beside him immediately sneered and said, "We haven't even entered the 5-Direction Palace, and we already have such a harvest. If we enter the 5-Direction Palace, our harvest will definitely be amazing." Hearing this, Lei Kunjin's smile deepened. It was as if Mo Feiyu was already a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. "Brat, with the Thunder Kingdom's Master Kunjin here, you're dead meat this time." Seeing Lei Kunjin's arrival, Huang Chao immediately revealed a smug expression. He gloated at Mo Qingyun's misfortune. In Huang Chao's opinion, with the Thunder Kingdom here, Mo Qingyun and the others would definitely die. It's the Thunder Kingdom. This is troublesome. Seeing Lei Kunjin and the others arrive, Mo Feiyu's expression immediately turned serious. He revealed an intense worry. Thunder Kingdom? Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Ling Luo's expression changed slightly. He said with some surprise, "Thunder Kingdom? Isn't that Lei Hao's kingdom? I didn't expect to meet them again." Haha, enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Long Yutian chuckled and sighed. Mo Qingyun and the others nodded in agreement with Long Yutian's words. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, Lei Kunjin looked at Mo Feiyu coldly and said, "Mo Feiyu, are you going to surrender yourself, or do you want me to capture you?" "Lei Kunjin, I can go with you. However, you have to promise me that you won't touch them." Hearing Lei Kunjin's words, Mo Feiyu hesitated for a moment before he made a difficult decision. He was well aware of Lei Kunjin's strength. Lei Kunjin had reached the 6th level of a Yuan dance stage. Although he knew Mo Qingyun's strength was not bad, he did not have much confidence that Mo Qingyun could defeat Lei Kunjin and the others. After all, Lei Kunjin's strength was not something Huang Chao and the others could compare to. Uncle Mo, you can't. Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Lu Fengliang's expression turned solemn, and he tried to persuade him. When Lu Fengliang tried to persuade him, Lei Kunjin looked satisfied and replied to Mo Feiyu, "As long as you're willing to surrender, I can let them go. Lei Kunjin, won't bother to make things difficult for a few true energy stage brats." Hearing Lei Kunjin's words, Mo Feiyu's expression relaxed. However, before he could relax, Huang Chao said, "Lord Kunjin, you can't let those brats go. Especially that brat. He's already been possessed by a demon." Huang Chao raised his hand and pointed at Mo Qingyan. He recounted what had happened just now, his face revealing a dark and cold expression. At this moment, Mo Qingyan had already recovered from his soul-changed state. Possessed by a demon? Hearing Huang Chao's words, Lei Kunjin turned his head to look at Mo Qingyan. When he saw Mo Qingyan's appearance, Lei Kunjin's expression turned gloomy. This brat was actually the purple eye who had killed dozens of people from the Thunder Kingdom. The purple eye, it's actually you. After recognizing Mo Qingyan, Lei Kunjin's expression turned ferocious. He said coldly, "The purple eye, you've killed dozens of people from the Thunder Kingdom. I'll settle this score with you right now." Hearing Lei Kunjin's words, Mo Qingyan showed a hint of disdain. He smiled faintly and replied, "I heard you say that you have the key to this cave dwelling. Hand it over, and I'll give you a quick death." Hand over the key? Hearing Mo Qingyan's words, Lei Kunjin's expression immediately froze. He was somewhat surprised by Mo Qingyan's words. After being stunned for a moment, Lei Kunjin and the rest revealed mocking expressions as they looked at Mo Qingyan with disdain. "Did I hear wrongly? This brat wants us to hand over the key to the cave dwelling? This brat must be scared silly. A true energy realm cultivator actually dares to threaten a Yuan Dan realm expert. This is the funniest joke I've heard in so many years." For a moment, the people from the Thunder Kingdom were mocking Mo Qingyan. However, while the people from the Thunder Kingdom were mocking him, Mo Qingyan's expression changed slightly. He coldly said, "Since you're not willing to hand it over, I'll do it myself." After saying those words, Mo Qingyan's body moved. He charged towards the people from the Thunder Kingdom, intending to finish them off. Seeing Mo Qingyan's actions, the people from the Thunder Kingdom and Jade Peak Kingdom were dumbfounded. Was Mo Qingyan committing suicide? A brat with a cultivation at the 5th level of the true energy realm actually planned to attack the people from their 2 kingdoms by himself. Even if Mo Qingyan had some tricks up his sleeve to raise his cultivation to the 4th level of the Yuan Dan realm, the gap between them was still too big. After all, Lei Kunjin's cultivation had reached the 6th level of the Yuan Dan realm. The difference between the 6th level of the Yuan Dan realm and the 4th level of the Yuan Dan realm was 2 levels. It was not an easy gap to overcome. Moreover, there were dozens of Yuan Dan realm experts around. Mo Qingyan's actions were no different from committing suicide. "Brat, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." Seeing Mo Qingyan charging towards him, Lei Kunjin's expression darkened. He coldly said to Mo Qingyan. After saying those words, Lei Kunjin attacked Mo Qingyan. At the same time, he instructed the people from the Thunder Kingdom and Jade Peak Kingdom, "You don't have to do anything. Let me deal with him alone." "Yes, Big Brother Kunjin. Yes, Lord Kunjin." Chapter 267. As soon as Lei Kunjin finished his sentence, his body moved, and he charged towards Mo Qingyan. "Kid, I admire your courage. However, you will soon understand how foolish your current actions are." As he charged towards Mo Qingyan, Lei Kunjin sneered coldly and said to Mo Qingyan, "Is that so?" Hearing Lei Kunjin's confident words, Mo Qingyan smiled nonchalantly and replied, "That's just what you think. In my opinion, you're no different from the Jade Peak Kingdom." "Oomph." In response to Mo Qingyan's words, Lei Kunjin snorted coldly and did not say anything else. He raised his hand and blasted out a palm strike towards Mo Qingyan. Endless black lightning. As Lei Kunjin blasted out a palm strike, lightning flashed on his palm. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a jet-black lightning snake that was dozens of meters long, connecting heaven and earth. Hiss! As soon as the jet-black lightning snake was formed, it flicked its tongue and swung its body towards Mo Qingyun. The jet-black lightning snake moved quickly, leaving only an afterimage in its wake. Following which, it arrived in front of Mo Qingyun and lifted its tail to wrap around Mo Qingyun, wanted to wrap around Mo Qingyun. Fire Dragon Seal. Facing the jet-black lightning snake's coiling attack, Mo Qingyun formed a hand seal and turned around. Following which, 81 Fire Dragon Battle Seals appeared around his body. As soon as these Fire Dragon Battle Seals appeared, they formed a ring of battle seals that surrounded Mo Qingyun and blocked the jet-black lightning snake's coiling attack. At the same time, Mo Qingyun's body emitted a surge of profound meaning. This was the third level of fire profound meaning. Sensing the profundity released by Mo Qingyun, Lei Kunjin's expression immediately changed, revealing a look of shock. Mo Qingyun's comprehension of profound meaning was actually not any weaker than his. Chi. When the pitch-black lightning snake's lightning body came into contact with a fire dragon battle imprint, sizzling sounds could be heard. Fire burst forth, and lightning shot out in all directions. That feeling was like an iron chain tightening around a boulder, emitting a series of loud noises. Sun incinerating mountain, severing saber after taking out the fire dragon battle seal. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all. He immediately took out the red silk saber and slashed at the black lightning snake. As soon as the fiery silk saber descended, origin energy instantly surged on the saber's body, causing the flames to go berserk. Like a horse that had escaped its reins, it transformed into a fiery dragon saber light. Roar! As soon as the fire dragon saber light appeared, it let out a low hum and emitted a faintly discernible dragon might. Bang, bang, bang! The fire dragon saber light and the black lightning snake collided. Both sides entangled with each other and attacked each other crazily. The scene of a great battle between dragons and snakes was staged. After a series of attacks, the black lightning snake was finally defeated. Under the dragon claw of the fire dragon saber light, its body was torn apart and dissipated between heaven and earth. Yes, after the black lightning snake was forcefully dispersed by the fire dragon saber light, Lei Kunjin, who was mentally connected to it, immediately let out a muffled groan. The blood in his heart was in turmoil. He had actually suffered a slight loss in this exchange of blows. Soon after, Lei Kunjin looked at Mo Qingyun with a serious expression. He no longer looked down on him. The combat strength that Mo Qingyun had just displayed could no longer be underestimated. Mo Qingyun was qualified to fight with him. 6th level Yuan Dan stage is nothing more than this. After neutralizing Lei Kunjin's all-out attack, Mo Qingyun revealed a proud expression. He looked at Lei Kunjin with disdain and said, "If this is all you have, I suggest that you let them come at me together. Let them come at me together." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lei Kunjin's expression immediately darkened. It was as if he had been greatly humiliated. He, a 6th level Yuan Dan stage martial artist, was actually being looked down upon by a 5th level True Energy stage martial artist. He absolutely could not accept this kind of thing. "Boy, you are too arrogant. It is too early for you to be happy." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lei Kunjin's expression immediately darkened. He did not waste any more words and directly summoned his martial soul. Sky Dark Lightning Snake, appear. After summoning his martial soul, Lei Kunjin's aura immediately increased by a few notches. "Boy, I will show you how big the gap between us is." After summoning his martial soul, Lei Kunjin's expression darkened. After uttering these words coldly, he underwent a soul change. Lei Kunjin's martial soul was an ordinary level 11 martial soul. Although it could be considered as a superb martial soul, it could still undergo a soul change. After undergoing a soul change, Lei Kunjin's body instantly grew bigger. After a short while, he transformed into a giant that was close to 30 meters tall. At the same time, his aura also increased and reached a level that was close to the 7th level Yuan dance stage. Seeing Lei Kunjin undergo a soul change, one of the Thunder Kingdom's men sneered and said, "This boy can make Brother Kunjin undergo a soul change. He can die with honor." Master Kunjin was just playing with that boy earlier. He really thinks that he is very powerful. Huang Chao also sneered and mocked Lei Kunjin. In his opinion, now that Lei Kunjin was serious, Mo Qingyun would definitely die. Lei Kunjin is undergoing a soul change. This is going to be troublesome. I wonder if little brother Qingyun can fight him. Looking at Lei Kunjin undergoing a soul change, Mo Feiyu revealed a worried expression and clenched his fists. Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Long Yutian and the others who were standing at the side also had a grave expression. They were worried for Mo Qingyun. Boy die. At this moment, Lei Kunjin waved his giant snake tail and swept it toward Mo Qingyun. As the snake tail moved, it immediately made a sound that broke the air. Everywhere it passed, the space trembled as though it was about to explode. Die? Looking at the snake tail that was sweeping toward him, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and revealed a look of disdain. He smiled faintly and said, "Lei Kunjin, you think too highly of yourself. You're not the only one with a trump card." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and waved it rapidly. Following that, runes of arrays appeared in the void. He was drawing an array. After seeing this scene, everyone's faces were filled with shock. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Drawing an array with a raise of his hand. The purple I could actually draw an array with a raise of his hand. His attainment in arrays had reached such a level. This is drawing an array with a raise of his hand. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Mo Feiyu immediately became excited. He clenched his fists tightly, and his fingernails dug deep into his flesh. Seeing Mo Feiyu's excited expression, Ling Luo and the others' eyes lit up, and their faces were filled with joy. Array. Boss is using an array. We almost forgot that Brother Mo is most proficient in arrays. All this while, he has never used this trump card. However, Brother Mo doesn't seem to be drawing the array with the help of the 9 Temples array. He seems to be drawing it casually. His attainment in arrays has improved again. It has reached a level that others can only look up to. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Ling Luo and the others' eyes lit up. They revealed looks of realization and were extremely excited. So he has always had a card up his sleeve. I was worried for nothing. Seeing Mo Qingyun draw an array with a raise of his hand, Wang Zishu's expression relaxed and revealed a joyful smile. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun stopped what he was doing. The array was completed. So near, yet worlds apart array, activate. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed. Immediately, the array shone brightly and activated in front of him. Once the array was completed, Lei Kunjin's snake tail seemed to have stopped. It was unable to get any closer to Mo Qingyun. So near, yet worlds apart was a distance of 1 foot. Faced with the so near, yet worlds apart array, Lei Kunjin's attack was unable to advance. Array. Seeing Mo Qingyun easily neutralize Lei Kunjin's powerful attack, Huang Chao and the others' faces twitched and revealed a trace of panic. This is bad. The Purple Eye is best at arrays. With his attainment in arrays, Lord Lei Kunjin will have a hard time dealing with him. I didn't expect this kid's attainment in arrays to have reached such a level. It seems like I have underestimated him. If this kid sets up a defensive array and hides inside like a turtle, it will be troublesome. Seeing Mo Qingyun display the power of arrays, Huang Chao and the others' expressions changed and they frowned. They had forgotten that Mo Qingyun had such a trick up his sleeve. Raising his hand to neutralize Lei Kunjin's attack, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and raised his hand again to draw in the air. Following that, lines of array inscriptions appeared in the air again and transformed into an array that shrouded Lei Kunjin. Once the array was completed, the weather within the array changed. Fireballs appeared and whizzed toward Lei Kunjin. Lei Kunjin's face twitched when he saw that he was trapped by the array and the fireball that was whistling toward him. He roared at Mo Qingyun, "Brat, if you have the guts, fight me head-on. Even if you win by relying on the array, it's an unfair victory." An unfair victory? Mo Qingyun laughed in disdain when he heard Lei Kunjin's words, then ridiculed. "You and I aren't 3-year-old children. Don't speak words that deceive idiots, so as to avoid being laughed at by others. Not to mention, could it be that you've won glory by making a move against me with a cultivation at the 6th level of the Origin Core stage?" After saying those words of disdain, Mo Qingyun sneered and said, "You'd better stay in the array and accept your death." Seeing that Lei Kunjin was trapped by the array, Huang Chao and the others' expressions changed immediately. "Oh no, Big Brother Kunjin is trapped by the array. Let's go save him immediately." After seeing Lei Kunjin's situation, the people from the Thunder Kingdom became anxious and rushed toward Lei Kunjin, intending to help him break the array. When the people from the Thunder Kingdom made their move, Huang Chao and the others hesitated, considering whether they should help the people from the Thunder Kingdom. After pondering for a while, Huang Chao and the others made up their minds. They decided to join forces with the people from the Thunder Kingdom. After a while, the people from the Thunder Kingdom and Jade Peak Kingdom made their moves. Some of them went to break the array, while the others went to attack Mo Qingyun. Trying to bully me with numbers? Chapter 268. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, 2 terrifying auras were emitted from his hands. They were sharp and threatening. These were 2 Pill Palace Blade Chi. Taking out the Saber Chi from the Pill Palace, Missouri Qingyun attacked the people from the Thunder Kingdom and Jade Peak Kingdom. His actions were as expected, without any hesitation. One of the Saber Chi blasted towards the crowd near Lei Kunjin, while the other Saber Chi blasted towards the crowd that was attacking him. Pill Palace Blade Chi. The moment they saw the Saber Chi from the Pill Palace, the expressions of the people from the Thunder Kingdom and Jade Peak Kingdom twitched. The Pill Palace Blade Chi wasn't something they could withstand. Pill Palace Blade Chi. Everyone retreat. The Purple Eye, you are despicable and shameless. You actually used the Pill Palace Blade Chi to launch a sneak attack. This isn't your true ability. Even if you defeat us, we won't be convinced. In an instant, the people from the Thunder Kingdom and the Jade Peak Kingdom all revealed furious expressions as they spoke in anger. Hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun showed a look of disdain and sneered. "You can attack me with dozens of people. Why can't I use the Pill Palace Blade Chi? Should I just stand here and let you kill me?" Boom, boom. As Mo Qingyun spoke, the 2 Pill Palace Blade Chi exploded, enveloping the people from the 2 kingdoms. The moment they were engulfed and attacked by the Pill Palace's Saber Chi, the people from the 2 kingdoms immediately let out miserable shrieks as they were sent flying backwards. Puff! After flying out, they started to vomit blood. Their faces were pale as they looked at Mo Qingyun in fear. Sun Incinerating Mountain Splitting Blade. Mo Qingyun didn't show any mercy to the people from the 2 kingdoms. He swung the red silk blade at them again. Mo Qingyun was clear that if he fell into the hands of the other party, he would be 100 times more miserable than them. Hence, there was no need to show mercy to the enemy. With a sweep of the red silk blade, a 10-meter-wide crescent blade light swept towards the people from the 2 kingdoms. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's body exuded an aura of total annihilation. Chi, chi, chi. In the face of Mo Qingyun's blade, more than 10 people were instantly cut in half at the waist. They fell to the ground with unwilling expressions and died. Seeing Mo Qingyun kill more than 10 people with one saber strike, the remaining people of the 2 great kingdoms immediately revealed terrified expressions and did their best to flee for their lives. Run! The Purple Eye is here. At this moment, the people from the 2 kingdoms no longer had the imposing manner of Yuan Dan Realm Masters. Trying to escape? Seeing that the people from the 2 kingdoms were preparing to flee, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up into a cold smile. Then Mo Qingyun raised his hand and waved it in the air, drawing runes after runes. As soon as the formation appeared, it shone brightly, forming a colorful light screen that covered the people of the two kingdoms. Following this, the people from the two kingdoms were trapped within the array, unable to escape. The Purple Eye, I was wrong. Please let me go. As long as you let me go, I won't find trouble with you. I'll kneel before you. The Purple Eye, please let me go. I'll recognize you as my master and listen to your orders. Seeing that they were trapped, the people from the two kingdoms turned pale and begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore their pleas. With a flash of his body, he entered the formation. Once he entered the array, Mo Qingyun waved his red silk saber again and slashed at the people from the two kingdoms. After being attacked by the Pill Palace's saber aura, the people from the two kingdoms were at the end of their rope. They could not even use 30% of their strength. Hence, under Mo Qingyun's powerful attacks, they were like chickens and dogs slaughtered under the red silk saber. About 15 minutes later, there was no one left alive from the two kingdoms. They were all killed by Mo Qingyun's saber. After killing the people from the two kingdoms, Mo Qingyun began to collect their Chinquan bags. With so many Yuan Dan realm experts' Chinquan bags, it was not a small fortune. He could not waste it like this. Just now, Lei Kunjin and the others said that they have the key to enter the cave. The key should be in Lei Kunjin's Chinquan bag. After collecting the Chinquan bags of the people from the two kingdoms, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he found Lei Kunjin's Chinquan bag. Then, Mo Qingyun searched Lei Kunjin's Chinquan bag for the key to the cave. After searching for a while, an object similar to a water droplet attracted Mo Qingyun's attention. This should be the key to the cave. Holding the water droplet key in his hand, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious. He turned and walked towards Ling Luo and the others. This should be the key to the cave. I will now use it to open the cave. After that, we will enter the cave. Walking in front of Ling Luo and the others, Mo Qingyun said to them in a low voice and walked towards the cave. Arriving in front of the cave, Mo Qingyun found the water droplet-shaped groove on the cave stone door. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He raised his hand and put the water droplet key into the groove on the stone door. Boom, boom, boom. As the water droplet key was put into the groove on the stone door, the ground immediately shook as if there was a magnitude 8 earthquake. At the same time, the tightly closed stone door slowly opened. It really opened. Seeing the stone door open, Lu Fangliang and the others' eyes immediately lit up. They were pleasantly surprised as they came out. Thump, thump, thump. However, at the moment when the stone door opened, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly twitched rapidly. A feeling of uneasiness appeared in his heart. This feeling. As soon as the feeling of uneasiness appeared in his heart, Mo Qingyun immediately frowned, and his expression became tense. Thump, thump, thump. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was feeling uneasy, a series of loud footsteps came from afar. As the footsteps sounded, the ground began to shake. Not long after, Mo Qingyun saw a huge figure rushing towards the cave abode at an extremely fast speed. Barbarian. Seeing the huge figure, Mo Qingyun's heart immediately trembled. His mood became heavier as he thought to himself, so the thing that caused my eyes to twitch and the uneasiness in my heart is this. What is that? Seeing the barbarian approaching, Ling Luo and the others' faces twitched, revealing intense fear. The aura of the Pill Palace realm. At this moment, the huge figure that was rapidly approaching was actually an expert of the Pill Palace realm. After realizing this, Ling Luo and the others' faces immediately turned pale. Their eyes were filled with despair. Facing an expert of the Pill Palace realm, they had no chance of survival. The difference in strength between the two sides was too big. We can enter the cave now. At this moment, while everyone was panicking, Lu Fangliang frowned and reminded everyone. Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Mo Qingyun's face immediately turned solemn. He said to everyone, "You guys enter the cave first. I will delay it for a few breaths." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Qingyun and the others hesitated. They were a little worried about Mo Qingyun. Seeing Lu Fangliang and the others' hesitation, Mo Qingyun's face turned solemn. He shouted at them, "Don't say any more. Quickly enter the cave." Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the crowd no longer hesitated and rushed into the cave one after another. "The Purple Eye, you're dead this time." At this moment, when Mo Feiyu and the others entered the cave, the Yin puppet sneered and said proudly. At this moment, Yin Shi had successfully taken over the body. As far as Yin Shi was concerned, Mo Qingyun would definitely die under the joint forces of the two of them. "Is that so?" Hearing Yin Shi's words, Mo Qingyun smiled and said coldly, "Last time, I was able to escape from your hands. This time I can do the same." "Oomph, brat, I won't give you another chance this time." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the barbarian's face darkened. He said coldly to Mo Qingyun, "Savage beast." Mountain shatters as soon as the barbarian finished speaking. He clenched his fist and hammered the ground. Bang, bang, bang. Under the savage beast's hammering, the ground immediately exploded and huge cracks appeared. At the same time, huge rocks were sent flying from the ground. At this moment, it was as if a volcano was erupting within a 1-mile radius. Huge rocks were sent flying. 7 Fiend Corpse Curse. At the instant the savage beast attacked, the Yin Shi raised her hand to summon 7 Origin Core Realm corpses, and they surrounded Mo Qingyun while emitting numerous ghastly cries that terrified the heart and soul. Bird of Prey Break. Facing Yin Shi's joint attack, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately moved and leaped into the air, avoiding the huge rocks that were sent flying. Storm Thunder. In midair, Mo Qingyun took out the silver drum he had obtained from Reiham and began to beat it. Under Mo Qingyun's beating, the silver drum immediately emitted wind and thunder intent. It collided with the ghostly cries of Yin Shi and dissolved them. Not bad. When she saw Mo Qingyun had actually dealt with their joint forces in a short period of time, Yin Shi revealed a wisp of a cold smile and said, "However, this is only the appetizer. Next, prepare to die." Then, Yin Shi and Savage Beast attacked Mo Qingyun again. Uncle Mo and the others have entered the cave. At this moment, when Yin Shi and Savage Beast attacked, Mo Qingyun saw that Mo Feiyu and the others had all entered the cave. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. Now that Mo Feiyu and the others had entered the cave, he did not have to worry about them. 9 temples, perform soul grafting with me and fight them. Mo Qingyun instructed the 9 temples and performed soul grafting with the 9 temples to strengthen his soul energy. Once the soul grafting was complete, Mo Qingyun's soul star immediately flashed with a bewitching purple light. His aura rapidly increased and reached the heavenly spirit realm. Then, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He raised his hand and drew in the air, inscribing an imposing array pattern. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's movements were extremely fast. A set of array patterns was completed in a few breaths of time. Suppress. Once the array was complete, Mo Qingyun controlled it and blocked the attacks of Savage Beast and Savage Beast. Raise your hand and draw the array. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Yin Shi and Savage Beast's expressions changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's methods and said in shock, "Kid, I didn't expect you to have such methods. It seems that old guy from the 9 temples has become your star general." Bang! While Savage Beast and Savage Beast were still in shock, Mo Qingyun's array blocked the attacks of the 2 Savage Beast and Savage Beast. Immediately, an earth-shattering sound rang out. At the same time, a terrifying storm of elemental energy erupted from within. Under this terrifying storm of elemental energy, the entire world darkened as if it was the end of the world. Teleportation Gate appear. After blocking Savage Beast and Savage Beast attacks, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all. He immediately used his martial soul's ability and flashed into the teleportation gate. After entering the teleportation gate, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened. He coldly said, "Savage beast, Shi, I can block one of your attacks this time. The next time we meet, I will definitely kill you." Chapter 269. Mo Qingyun's vision blurred. When he could see clearly again, he was already inside the cave. When Mo Qingyun entered the cave, the stone door of the cave happened to close, and no one else was able to enter. Outside the cave. Damn it, we were tricked by that kid. Seeing the stone door close, Savage Beast and Chi's faces darkened. They understood Mo Qingyun's intention. Immediately, Chi's face darkened, and she said angrily, "That kid was stalling for time. He purposely waited until the stone door was about to close before he entered the cave so that we couldn't enter. What a treacherous kid. The next time I catch him, I won't let him go." Savage Beast's expression was ferocious. He clenched his fists so tightly that they made cracking sounds. At this moment, he wished he could skin Mo Qingyun alive. With their strength and status, they were defeated by a kid at the 5th level of the true energy realm. This was too infuriating. Inside the cave, Mo Qingyun did not know what Savage Beast and Chi were thinking. After entering the cave, he began to look for Mo Feiyu and the others. After searching for a while, he found Mo Feiyu and the others and rushed towards them. At this moment, Mo Feiyu and the others were confronting a group of people. The atmosphere was tense. Beside them, there were 3 other groups of people. It seemed like they had entered the 5-direction palace from the other 4 entrances. After briefly sizing up the crowd, Mo Qingyun saw a few familiar figures in the group of people confronting Mo Feiyu and the others. "Hunyang, it's them." After seeing these people, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was surprised by the appearance of Hunyang and the others. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was sizing up Hunyang and the others, Hunyang sneered and looked coldly at Lu Fangliang. "Lu Fangliang, I didn't expect a lowly commoner like you to be so lucky. You actually managed to survive until now under my kill order. However, since you've met me today, it's time for you to die." Hearing Hunyang's words, Lu Fangliang's expression darkened. He said coldly with disdain, "Hunyang, you're in such a hurry to kill me. Are you worried that you'll lose to me in the battle for the throne?" "I'll lose to you?" Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Hunyang immediately sneered and said disdainfully, "Lu Fangliang, don't think that I won't kill you today just because you're trying to provoke me." Hearing Hunyang's words, Lu Fangliang's expression darkened. He took out an item and said coldly, "If you want to keep me here, you'll have to pay a price." Dan Palace's Blade Chi. Seeing the Dan Palace's Blade Chi in Lu Fangliang's hand, Hunyang's expression changed. His eyes revealed a trace of surprise. He said coldly, "Just one Dan Palace's Blade Chi isn't enough to save your life. Is that so?" At this moment, just as Hunyang finished speaking, a faint laughter sounded from the side. Following which, everyone saw a young man walking towards them. This young man was naturally Mo Qingyun, who had approached them. The Purple Eye. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the surrounding people's expressions immediately changed. They recognized him. Immediately, everyone's gaze turned cold and revealed an expression that said they couldn't wait to cut Mo Qingyun into pieces. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the crowd's reaction. With a faint smile on his face, he walked towards Lu Fangliang and the others. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk closer, Hunyang's lips curled into a cold smile. With a cold expression, he said, "The Purple Eye, you came at the right time. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find you. I didn't expect you to deliver yourself to my doorstep. Brat, so you're the one who killed our Soul Kingdom's people." After Hunyang finished speaking, a middle-aged man behind him revealed a cold expression. He said to Mo Qingyun in a gloomy tone, "Brat, in order to prevent others from saying that I, Hun Shuangping, bully the weak, you should commit suicide." "Commit suicide?" Hearing his words, Mo Qingyun smiled indifferently and replied, "You think too highly of yourself. Even if you're bullying the weak, you can't do anything to me. Arrogant brat, you're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hun Swamping's face immediately darkened. He was about to attack Mo Qingyun. Boom! Boom! However, just as Hun Swamping was about to attack, the ground suddenly shook violently. Then, everyone saw the ground beneath their feet rise rapidly into the air as if they were in an elevator. Soon, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at a land of lava that was filled with flames. In the center of the land of lava was a towering hall made of flames. The door of the hall was engraved with a picture of a firebird. Fire Throne Palace. Seeing the towering hall, everyone's expression changed immediately. They were all excited. Swoosh! While everyone was still in shock, the picture of a firebird on the door of the palace suddenly seemed to come to life and flew out of the door. After the picture of a firebird flew out, it sank into the ground in front of the hall and formed a bigger picture of a firebird. This is the shadow of legacy. If one can obtain the recognition of the shadow of legacy, he will be able to obtain the legacy in this hall. If one obtains the legacy in the Fire Throne Palace, he will be able to reach the top in a single bound. However, it seems like the legacy in this hall can only be recognized by those who are the true energy realm. Sigh, what a pity. For a time, everyone began to whisper to each other. Enter the shadow of legacy immediately. We'll protect you. At this moment, an elder at the Yuan Dan realm among the group of people said to a junior at the true energy realm beside him. Immediately, those juniors at the true energy realm rushed toward the picture of a firebird as if they were in a hurry to be reincarnated. Seeing the actions of the people from the Soul Kingdom, Han Yang sneered and said, "The inheritance of the 5 palaces is not something that a bunch of country bumpkins like you can obtain." After letting out a mocking laugh, Hun Yang turned to the people behind him and instructed, "Protect me. I must obtain this fire seat's inheritance." Yes. Hearing Hun Yang's words, the Yuan Dan realm experts behind him immediately responded and began to drive the others away. The Soul Kingdom. This kind of legacy belongs to those who are fated to obtain it. Your actions are too overbearing. That's right. Your actions are too much. Even if you enter the shadow of legacy, you won't be recognized. Kiki, this kind of legacy is not something that can be obtained by you people. If you don't want to die, get lost. Everyone, the people from the Soul Kingdom, are too overbearing. Let's work together to deal with them. For a moment, the people from the Soul Kingdom and the people from the other 3 factions were fighting crazily. Brother Mo, help me block the others. At this moment, while the people from the Soul Kingdom were fighting with the people from the other 4 factions, Lu Fangliang's face was solemn as he requested Mo Qingyun, "I want to obtain the Fire Throne Palace's inheritance." Lu Fangliang was usually a man of few words. Since he had spoken, it meant that he was determined to obtain the Fire Throne Palace. All right. Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and nodded his head in agreement. After agreeing to Lu Fangliang's words, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and drew an array. He set up a defensive array around Mo Feiyu and the others. Mo Qingyun's actions were to prevent the people from the other kingdoms from taking the opportunity to deal with Mo Feiyu and the others when he escorted Lu Fangliang into the shadow of legacy. Pill Palace's seal, unseal. Scarlet Flame, Heavenly Dragon, appear. After setting up the array, Mo Qingyun summoned the Scarlet Flame, Heavenly Dragon, Martial Soul, and underwent a soul transformation. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun completed his soul transformation and transformed into a huge figure. Brother Lu, let's go. After completing his soul transformation, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and grabbed Lu Fangliang. Then, he charged towards the shadow of legacy. Dong, dong, dong. Under Mo Qingyun's actions, the ground began to shake, and a series of loud noises rang out. That's the primordial heavenly dragon. It's not the primordial heavenly dragon. It's a soul transformation. The purple eye has undergone a soul transformation. What? The purple eye has undergone a soul transformation? How is this possible? He's not at the true energy realm. His cultivation has reached the 4th level of the Yuan Dan realm. Noticing Mo Qingyun's change, the expressions of the people from the other factions changed drastically. Bird of prey break. While everyone's faces were filled with shock, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he brought Lu Fangliang to the front of the shadow of inheritance. Bang, bang, bang. Under Mo Qingyun's rapid charge, more than 10 people were sent flying. They fell to the ground with heavy injuries and couldn't get up for a long time. Brother Lu, enter the shadow of legacy. Arriving in front of the shadow of legacy, Mo Qingyun had a heroic look on his face as he sent Lu Fangliang into the shadow of legacy. However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that Han Yang was one step ahead of them and entered the shadow of legacy. Seeing Han Yang in the shadow of legacy, Mo Qingyun frowned and raised his hand to slap Han Yang. He was prepared to cripple Han Yang. The purple eye, you're courting death. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the face of a 6th-level Yuan Dan realm expert from the Soul Kingdom instantly darkened. He raised his hand to slap Mo Qingyun to prevent Mo Qingyun from killing Han Yang. Seeing the action of the 5th-level Yuan Dan realm expert from the Soul Kingdom, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He raised his hand to meet the attack and gave up on killing Han Yang. Brother Mo, help me block the others. Leave Han Yang to me. After seeing this scene, Lu Fangliang revealed a proud expression and said to Mo Qingyun, "Don't worry." All right. Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Mo Qingyun immediately laughed loudly and said in a clear voice, "Brother Lu, go all out and fight. With me here, no one can disturb you." Shameless boasting. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the people at the side immediately showed disdain and said coldly, "The purple eye, you're too arrogant. With your strength alone, you can't stop all of us. Whether I can or can't, we'll know in a fight. Cut the crap, bring on." Hearing the cold words of the crowd, Mo Qingyun was fearless. A strong battle intent rose in his heart. Chapter 270. Fire Dragon Seal. As soon as Mo Qingyun's words fell, his hands quickly formed a series of hand seals, and 81 Fire Dragon battle seals appeared. Once the Fire Dragon battle seals appeared, they immediately formed a flaming railing, blocking everyone's path. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the faces of the people from the various kingdoms darkened. Without any hesitation, they began to attack. Magic Palm of Gulen, Sun-Piercing Divine Claw, Gray Cloud Ghost Axe, 100 Waves Flying Cloud Scissors, Mountain Breaking 3 Slashes. In an instant, all kinds of sword radiance, saber radiance, axe radiance, fist radiance, and palm radiance whizzed toward Mo Qingyun. Golden Jade True Body. Faced with everyone's attacks, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately used his body refining technique. Then his body flashed with a golden jade luster, and his aura suddenly increased. Then Mo Qingyun raised his hand and waved it in the air, drawing lines of array runes. Fire Cloud Purple Flame Array, activate. Once the array was formed, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed, controlling the array to attack the people from the various kingdoms. Following this, a crimson light screen rapidly formed, enveloping the people from the various kingdoms. Seeing that the array had enveloped them, the faces of the people from the various kingdoms darkened, and they began to attack the array light screen wildly. Under the attacks of the crowd, the Fire Cloud Purple Flame Array began to tremble, as if it would break at any time. An intermediate level 4 array is still a little weak. It's still a little difficult to stop an advanced Yuan Dan realm powerhouse. Looking at the trembling array light screen, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he could not help but sigh in his heart. At the end of the day, he was still a little weak. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was blocking the people from the various kingdoms, Lu Fangliang and Han Yang coldly faced each other in the shadow of the legacy. Lu Fangliang, a lowly commoner like you, actually wants to compete with me for the inheritance? What a joke. Han Yang looked at Lu Fangliang with disdain. With a cold expression, he said, "Today, I will let you know that a lowly person will always be a lowly person. Even if you use some despicable methods, you will never be able to get rid of your lowly status. Hearing Hun Yang's words, Lu Fangliang revealed a look of disdain. He coldly replied, "Hun Yang, you keep calling me a lowly commoner. Let me ask you, other than your birth, which part of you is better than mine? Is your martial spirit's rank higher than mine?" As soon as Lu Fangliang finished speaking, Hun Yang's face turned red like a duck being choked by its neck. He couldn't refute Lu Fangliang's words. In terms of martial souls, he was far inferior to Lu Fangliang. Lu Fangliang's martial soul had reached the 12th grade. Oof. So what if your martial soul's rank is higher? After being speechless for a moment, Hun Yang revealed a cold expression. He said to Lu Fangliang, "After today, you are a dead man. No matter how high your martial soul is, it will be a waste." Following this, Hun Yang attacked Lu Fangliang. Hun Yang immediately summoned his martial soul. Inferno Nether Snake appear. Under Hun Yang's summon, a huge shadow emitting heat waves appeared above him. This was a grade 11 martial soul, a superb martial soul, the Inferno Nether Snake martial soul. After the martial soul was summoned, it immediately released a wave of soul power to support Hun Yang's body. At this moment, Hun Yang's true element realm 9th level power was released without reservation. Mysterious underworld soul flaming sword. Hun Yang wielded his long sword and slashed out several times at Lu Fangliang, slashing out several dark sword rays. As soon as the sword rays appeared, they flew towards Lu Fangliang at an extremely fast speed. As the sword rays flew, the shadow of vengeful souls appeared above them, causing people to tremble in fear. Soul-devouring demonic wolf appear. Faced with Hun Yang's attack, Lu Fangliang didn't dare hesitate and summoned his martial soul. Following this, a huge black wolf shadow appeared above Lu Fangliang, emitting a dark aura. As soon as the black wolf shadow appeared, it caused people's souls to palpitate as if they were about to be devoured by the black wolf shadow. This kid's martial soul is so strong. After seeing Lu Fangliang's martial soul, this thought arose in everyone's minds. Azura, soul-devouring blade. After summoning his martial soul, Lu Fangliang brandished the crescent moon blade in his hand and slashed out several times at Hun Yang, blasting out several crescent moon blade rays. As soon as the crescent moon blade rays appeared, a shadow immediately appeared and grasped them in his hand. The shadow was like a malevolent Azura. After the Azura shadow appeared, Hun Yang's expression immediately changed. His mind and soul were slightly suppressed. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Shortly after, the blade rays and the sword rays collided with each other, emitting a low sound. It was like the song of the 9 netherworlds, intimidating people's souls and minds. After the collision of the blade rays and the sword rays, Lu Fangliang and Hun Yang's expressions became serious. Cold sweat dripped down their foreheads. From this, it could be seen that the battle between them wasn't as calm as it seemed. After a while, after a stalemate, the sword rays and the blade rays both dissipated. In this exchange, Lu Fangliang and Hun Yang were equally matched. However, those with discerning eyes were very clear in their hearts that if they were at the same cultivation level, the winner would be Lu Fangliang. After all, Lu Fangliang was only at the 7th level of the true element realm. He was 2 levels higher than Hun Yang. You have some skills. Seeing that his attack was neutralized by Lu Fangliang, Hun Yang's expression darkened. His eyes were cold as he said, "If I let you continue to grow, you might really surpass me. However, I won't give you the chance." Nether Snake Shadow. As soon as Hun Yang finished speaking, he no longer held back and directly used his martial soul's super ability. As soon as the martial soul's super ability was used, the Raging Flame Nether Snake released a shocking amount of soul power and transformed into a pitch-black snake shadow. As soon as the Nether Snake Shadow formed, the Nether Snake's eyes emitted a faint light. As soon as they saw the faint light in the Nether Snake's eyes, everyone felt as if they were about to fall asleep, as if they were hypnotized. Nightmare Prison. Seeing that Hun Yang had used his martial soul's super ability, Lu Fangliang no longer hesitated and also used his martial soul's super ability. As soon as Lu Fangliang used his martial soul's super ability, the soul-devouring demonic wolf martial soul roared at the sky. Then, the sky began to change color. In the sky above the lava field, the image of a heavenly wolf swallowing the sun appeared. As the sun was gradually swallowed by the heavenly wolf, the light in the lava field rapidly dimmed. At the same time, a black cage rapidly condensed and enveloped Han Yang, trapping Han Yang in an instant. As soon as he was trapped in the black cage, Han Yang's face instantly turned pale. It was as if he had sunk into an endless nightmare and was unable to extricate himself for a long time. Seeing Han Yang in such a state, Lu Fangliang did not show any mercy. He held the soul-devouring saber in his hand and slashed at Han Yang. As the saber fell, a reddish-gray saber light immediately shot out and slammed into Han Yang's body. Puff! After being hit by the saber light, Han Yang immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and was blasted out of the shadow of inheritance. How is this possible? How could you defeat me? Following that, Han Yang also regained consciousness. His face was slightly pale, and he looked at Lu Fangliang with a crazed expression. He had actually lost. He had lost to the lowly commoner that he had disdained. He really could not accept such an outcome. Lu Fangliang did not directly respond to Han Yang's craziness. Instead, he said coldly, Han Yang, I won't kill you today. Go back and tell Han Qian that when I return to the Soul Kingdom, it will be the time I defeat him fair and square. You. Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Han Yang's face immediately twitched. He looked at Lu Fangliang angrily and was speechless. A warrior can be killed, but not humiliated. Lu Fangliang not killing him now was the greatest humiliation to him. Prince Han Yang. After this scene, the expressions of the Origin Core realm experts of the Soul Kingdom instantly changed as they revealed nervous expressions. At the same time, their attacks became ruthless. They attacked Mo Qingyun crazily. Seeing that everyone's attacks had become fierce, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He immediately transmitted his voice to the 9 temples. 9 temples, let's perform the soul grafting. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the 9 temples no longer hesitated. They immediately performed the soul grafting with Mo Qingyun. Following that, Mo Qingyun's aura immediately surged. Soon, it was close to the heavenly spirit realm. Seeing that his soul cultivation had not reached the heavenly spirit realm, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He thought to himself, it seems that the 9 temples' soul strength was greatly depleted after blocking Savage Beast's attack. If that's the case, I can't borrow too much of the 9 temples' soul strength. At this moment, after Mo Qingyun and the 9 temples performed the soul grafting, his soul star immediately flashed with a dazzling light. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's body exuded a strong, bewitching aura. This kid's aura has become stronger. He was holding back just now. Feeling the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, the expressions of the people from the various kingdoms twitched. Shock was written all over their faces. They had never expected such an outcome. Mo Qingyun was facing nearly 100 of them by himself, yet he was still holding back. This discovery was simply too shocking. At this moment, while the people from the various kingdoms were still in shock, Mo Qingyun raised his hand again and began to draw in the air. Mo Qingyun's movements were extremely fast. In just a few breaths' time, he had completed a complete formation. Glazed Flame Prison Cauldron Formation, activate. Once the formation was complete, Mo Qingyun controlled the formation and once again attacked the people from the various kingdoms. Immediately, the people from the various kingdoms were once again trapped by the formation. They frantically attacked the formation. However, this time, when they attacked the formation again, the formation's sturdiness was clearly much higher. After this discovery, the expressions of the people from the various kingdoms changed once again. Fear was written all over their faces. The formation has become stronger. Did he hold back when he used the formation just now? How is this possible? How many trump cards does this kid have? Did he really come from the True Energy Realm battlefield? The Purple Eye, we won't fight for the Fire Throne Palace anymore. Please let us out. In an instant, the people of the various kingdoms were all shocked and began to beg for mercy. Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to the pleas of the royal kingdoms. He faintly smiled and thought to himself, the firmness and defensive power of a high-level 4-array formation is indeed much higher than a mid-level 4-array formation. It's just that stabilizing a high-level 4-array formation consumes too much of my soul strength. At this moment, while the people from the Great Kingdom were begging for mercy, the shadow of inheritance carried Lu Fangliang and flew towards the Flame Palace. Brother Mo, many thanks. Seeing that he had been recognized by the shadow of inheritance, Lu Fangliang immediately expressed his gratitude to Mo Qingyun. There's no need for thanks between us. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in response to Lu Fangliang's words of gratitude. Chapter 271. This pair of wings. Mo Qingyun's expression changed as he looked at the wings formed by the fallen feathers of the shadow of inheritance in his hand. He was surprised by this scene. While Mo Qingyun was puzzled, the 9 temples were pleasantly surprised. Young Lord, these are the secret inheritance keys of the masters of the 5 forces. As long as you collect all 5 secret inheritance keys, you will be able to obtain the master of the 5 forces inheritance. Master of the 5 forces? Mo Qingyun was puzzled when he heard the 9 temples' words. He waited for the 9 temples' explanation. The master of the 5 forces is the master of the 5 planetary generals. It is said that he was good friends with the previous master. The 9 temples briefly explain the history of the master of the 5 forces. Generally speaking, the master of the 5 forces was a very powerful existence. The master of the 5 planetary generals and a good friend of the previous master of the 9 temples. Mo Qingyun was shocked when he heard the 9 temples' words. He was pleasantly surprised. This was an incredible existence. If he could obtain the inheritance of the master of the 5 forces, it would be a great opportunity. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's heart was filled with strong anticipation. But before that, I have to deal with the trouble in front of me first. Mo Qingyun thought to himself. He looked at the people in the glazed flame prison tripod array and attacked them again. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and began to draw in the air. Then, a series of formation runes appeared in the air, forming a fierce formation. This was a killing array. Meteor flame formation combined. Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed at the meteor flame formation. Immediately, the meteor flame formation expanded rapidly and turned into a huge red light screen. Then, the meteor flame formation and the glazed flame prison tripod array combined to form a combined array. Array combination. After seeing this scene, the expressions of the surrounding people changed again, revealing a look of shock. How is this possible? How could his attainments and formations have reached such a level? Impossible. Even if he started studying arrays in his mother's womb, he still wouldn't be able to reach this level. This is a killing array. Big brother, save me. My leg, my hand, uncle, save me. In an instant, the expressions of the people from the various kingdoms within the formation twitched as they let out terrified cries. Not long after, a small number of people in the formation were burned to ashes by the meteoric flames. Formation combination. Mo Feiyu was immediately stunned by what Mo Qingyun had done. He said in shock, I never thought that Brother Qingyun's comprehension of formations would have reached such a level. What a genius of formations. Upon hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Ling Luo revealed a proud expression and said to Mo Feiyu, Uncle Mo, Boss's talent in alchemy isn't inferior to his talent in formations at all. At this moment, Ling Luo's expression seemed to show that he was proud to have a brother like Mo Qingyun. He's also skilled in alchemy? Upon hearing Ling Luo's words, Mo Feiyu's expression changed again. Disbelief filled his face, and he was unable to calm down for a long time. If that was the case, then Mo Qingyun's talent was simply too frightening. While Mo, Feiyu, and the others were still in shock, over half of the people from the various kingdoms within the formation had already been slaughtered. The purple eye, seeing the people within the formation being slaughtered one after another, Hun Yang's face paled. He glared at Mo Qingyun with fear and anger, unable to say anything for a long time. Mo Qingyun ignored Hun Yang's anger. He only said indifferently, "Brother Lu spared your life and told you to bring a message back to the Soul Kingdom. Because of that, I won't kill you. Scram." You. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hun Yang's face twitched again. His anger had reached its peak. However, at this moment, there was nothing else he could do other than be angry. The current Mo Qingyun was no longer someone he could deal with. Immediately, Hun Yang's face was filled with unwillingness. He said coldly, "The purple eye, if you don't kill me today, I'll definitely return the humiliation you've brought me. I'll make you pay back 100-fold. As soon as Hun Yang finished speaking, he no longer hesitated. He decisively turned around and left, emitting a cold aura from his body. Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to Hun Yang's words. He focused on controlling the combination formation and slaughtering everyone within the formation. Because he had to control two formations at the same time, Mo Qingyun's and the Nine Temple soul energy was rapidly depleted. In just a short moment, Mo Qingyun felt like he was about to collapse, which shocked him greatly. He thought to himself, "With my current soul cultivation, it's really too far-fetched for me to control a high-grade, fourth-grade array formation." However, what made Mo Qingyun rejoice was that he had managed to kill all the people from the various kingdoms within the array formation. After killing everyone within the formation, an exhausted voice came from the Nine Temples. He said, "Young lord, this old servant's soul energy has been greatly depleted. I need some time to recover. I'm afraid I won't be able to help you in the short term." "All right." Hearing the Nine Temples' words, Mo Qingyun nodded. He said to the Nine Temples, "Just focus on recovering your soul energy. Don't worry about anything else." "Yes, young lord." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Nine Temples responded. He didn't say anything else and began to recover in the Soul Palace. Seeing that everyone within the formation had been killed, Mo Qingyun walked into the formation and collected their Chinquan bags. After collecting everyone's Chinquan bags, Mo Qingyun walked towards Mo Feiyu and the others and removed the defensive formation protecting them. After removing the formation, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged and began to regulate his breathing and recover. In the battle just now, he was the same as the Nine Temples. He had expended too much energy and needed to recover as soon as possible. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was recovering, Mo Feiyu and the others also sat down and waited. Several hours later, peak of the 5th level of the true energy realm, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and a hint of joy appeared on his face. He said in surprise, "I didn't think that after these few battles, my Yuan Qi cultivation would increase by itself. I'm only a step away from the 6th level of the true energy realm. Brother Mo, what do we do now?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun had stopped cultivating, Long Yutian asked with a faint smile. Hearing Long Yutian's words, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious. He said in a low voice, "Let's wait and see. The 5 palaces are different from the other secret treasures and caves. I think that the other 4 palaces will appear on their own." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's idea. Then, Mo Qingyun and the others continued to wait for the other 4 palaces to appear. While waiting, Mo Qingyun took out all the Chinquan bags he had obtained earlier and began to organize them. Chapter 272. Grade 7 Spirit Herbs Blood Crack Grass, Radiant Thyme, Mysterious Bamboo, Ancient Orchid Tooth Birch Eye, Scarlet Thunder Tortoise Sand, Rhinoceros Skin Cheelin Rock Egg, Cold Light Soul Extreme Rock, Low-Grade Profound Artifact Waterblade, Low-Grade Profound Artifact Wrought Tan Armor. All of a sudden, a dazzling array of items appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. "Once I find Purple Howling Snow Milk, Brahmin Sea Scale Blood Fruit, and Heavenly Spring Jade Dew, I can refine the Grade 7 Heavenly Spring Essence Quenching Golden Pill. Looking at the alchemy materials before him, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He thought to himself, once I refine the Heavenly Spring Essence Quenching Golden Pill, I can use it to refine the quality of my Yuan Dan when I try to break through to the Yuan Dan stage. After pondering for a moment, Mo Qingyun simply categorized the alchemy materials before him and put them into his Qingquan bag. Then, Mo Qingyun simply categorized the other items and put them away. After putting away the various materials, Mo Qingyun put all the elemental spirit stones before him into a Qingquan bag. After putting away all the elemental spirit stones, Mo Qingyun was shocked to discover that the number of elemental spirit stones he had on him had reached 10 billion. 10 billion elemental spirit stones was probably something that the entire Xia kingdom could not take out. After putting away the elemental spirit stones, Mo Qingyun's gaze stopped on the pile of crystals in front of him. To think that these people would have so many elixir crystals on them. Looking at the pile of crystals in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said in pleasant surprise, "With these elixir crystals, my future cultivation will be faster. However, if I want to break through to the Yuan Dan stage, I will need to collect even more elixir crystals." Elixir crystals were a type of cultivation crystal that was of a higher grade than elemental spirit stones. Only powerhouses at the Yuan Dan stage and above could condense them by refining the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth. The Yuan Qi of heaven and earth contained within them was purer than elemental spirit stones. It was easier for martial artists at the true energy realm and above to refine and absorb. After a simple count, Mo Qingyun was shocked to discover that there were close to 10,000 core essence crystals. A single core essence crystal was worth 10,000 spirit essence stones. In other words, these 10,000 core essence crystals were worth 100 million spirit essence stones. Of course, this was not the most important thing. And most importantly, in many cases, even if you had 10,000 spirit essence stones, you still wouldn't be able to exchange for a single core essence crystal. Soon after, Mo Qingyun kept the elixir origin crystal. What made Mo Qingyun a little disappointed was that these people did not have anything more valuable in their Qingquan bags. After feeling a little disappointed, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it. After all, that kind of thing could only be encountered and not sought. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun finished counting his spoils of war, a loud noise suddenly came from underground. Then, Mo Qingyun saw the lava field in front of him begin to spin rapidly. Not long after, the entire lava field disappeared before their eyes and was replaced by an endless desert. Seeing the desert appear, Mo Qingyun knew that another palace had appeared. This should be an Earth-level palace. Looking at the desert in front of him, Mo Qingyun muttered to himself and said to everyone, "Let's go in." Soon after, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and led the way into the desert, leading everyone in search of the Earth-level palace. After a while, as Mo Qingyun and the others continued to move forward, cactuses that were hundreds of meters tall appeared in front of them. Wow, what big cactuses and cactuses! Seeing the cactuses and cactuses in front of him, Ling Luo's expression was excited and he exclaimed in shock. Then, Ling Luo curiously walked toward the cactuses and cactuses. However, just as Ling Luo walked toward the cactuses and cactuses, sharp spikes suddenly shot out from the cactuses and cactuses. "Ling Luo, watch out!" Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, and he warned Ling Luo. Then, Mo Qingyun's body flashed toward Ling Luo. He raised his hand and took out the Fire Dragon Battle Seal. It formed a Fire Dragon Battle Shield to block the attack of the spikes. Mo Qingyun moved to block the cactuses and cactuses spikes for Ling Luo. Long Yutian did not hesitate and immediately took out the glazed crystal thousand caddy shield to block the spikes for everyone. Thud, thud, thud. The spikes hit the Fire Dragon shield and the glazed crystal thousand caddy shield and immediately made crisp sounds, like woodpeckers pecking a wood. Earth-splitting steak. When Mo Qingyun and Long Yutian attacked, Mo Feiyu's face darkened, and he raised his hand to hit the ground. Then, the ground under the cactuses immediately exploded, and huge stakes that were dozens of meters long were blasted out. Bang, bang, bang. Under the bombardment of the stakes, the cactuses were instantly blasted into pieces. Seeing that the cactuses were blasted into pieces, Mo Qingyun and the others relaxed. The situation just now is really dangerous. They did not expect the cactuses to suddenly attack them, and almost got them killed. Then, Mo Qingyun's face turned serious, and he said in a low voice, "Everyone be careful. This desert seems to be much more dangerous than the lava field. It seems that the earth position inheritance is not as simple as the fire position inheritance." After reminding everyone, Mo Qingyun's face turned serious, and he led everyone forward. The rest of the journey was filled with danger. Along the way, there were all kinds of traps and sneak attacks. Maybe a giant worm that looked like an earthworm would suddenly jump out from the ground and spit out a sandstorm at them. Or maybe a giant lizard would suddenly appear in the desert oasis and pounce on them crazily. Even when they were walking, a quicksand whirlpool would suddenly appear on the ground and try to swallow them up. It could be said that the journey was filled with danger. If they were not careful, they could lose their lives here. Fortunately, after this bumpy journey, an ancient desert castle finally appeared in front of them. At the entrance of the ancient castle stood two armored giants. One of them was holding a spear, and the other was holding a huge shield. As Mo Qingyun and the others approached, the spear and shield in the hands of the two armored giants immediately blossomed with a dazzling light. As soon as the two lights appeared, they formed a projection on the ground. It was a projection that looked like a black tortoise. It seems that this inheritance is suitable for Brother Long. Seeing the inheritance shadow on the ground, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Long Yutian, who was beside him, "Then I won't stand on ceremony." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Yutian smiled faintly and walked toward the ancient castle. He walked into the shadow of the black tortoise. However, what surprised Long Yutian was that when he walked into the shadow of the black tortoise did not react at all. How could this be? Seeing this, Long Yutian was puzzled and looked at Mo Qingyun in confusion. Mo Qingyun frowned slightly when he saw this, and he pondered in his heart. He said to himself, "Earlier, when I was fighting the members of the kingdoms, I released the energy of profundity, and it caused the shadow of inheritance to react. Could it be that?" As soon as this thought appeared, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately released the ultimacy power into the inheritance shadow. Roar! As soon as Mo Qingyun's ultimacy power entered, the shadow of the black tortoise let out a deep groan and released a force that enveloped Mo Qingyun. Judging from the meaning of the inheritance shadow, it seemed that it had decided that Mo Qingyun was the inheritor. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he quickly thought to himself, "I want to obtain the inheritance of the five masters, so I can't enter this ancient castle." With this thought, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately cut off his connection with the inheritance shadow. He said to Long Yutian, "Brother Long, quickly enter the inheritance shadow." Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Yutian did not hesitate and immediately rushed into the inheritance shadow. He thanked Mo Qingyun. "Brother Mo, thank you." When Long Yutian entered the inheritance shadow reluctantly raised its head and carried Long Yutian towards the ancient castle. Chapter 273. The Second Five-Direction Key. When the tortoise shell flew into Mo Qingyun's hand, Long Yutian was pleasantly surprised and kept it. Then Mo Qingyun and the rest sat down cross-legged outside the castle and waited for the arrival of the next site of legacy. Boom, boom, boom. A few hours later, a loud noise came from underground, and the ground began to shake. The next site of legacy was coming. Then the castle started to move, and slowly disappeared before everyone's eyes. Following the disappearance of the castle, a primitive forest appeared before everyone's eyes. This time, it should be the wooden palace. Let's go in. When they saw the forest before them, Emo, Qingyun, and the others didn't hesitate in the slightest. They instructed the others and walked into the forest. The forest was very quiet and peaceful. Birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. Some little rabbits and squirrels were jumping around happily. After seeing this scene, Emo, Qingyun, and the others couldn't help but be affected, and faint smiles appeared on their faces. Roar! At this moment, the roar of a beast could be heard from the depths of the forest. After discovering this, the expressions of Emo, Qingyun, and the others immediately changed. They frowned and quickly rushed towards the place where the beast roar came from. Soon, a huge tiger appeared in front of Emo, Qingyun, and the rest. Although this tiger was strong, it was just an ordinary wild beast without any cultivation. A martial artist at the first level of body tempering realm could easily kill it. At this moment, a group of villagers with no cultivation was confronting the tiger. They were holding knives, forks, and hoes, guarding against the tiger's attack. Behind the villagers, there were a few petite figures lying unconscious on the ground. Looking at them, they seemed to have been injured by the tiger. Their faces were pale, and there were scratches on their bodies. Let's go and help them. After seeing this scene, Emo, Qingyun instructed the crowd and then walked towards the tiger. Young man, get out of the way. Seeing Emo, Qingyun walking towards the tiger, a middle-aged villager immediately warned Emo, Qingyun. Don't worry. Hearing the middle-aged man's words, Emo, Qingyun smiled and waved his hand to the tiger. Then, the tiger was sent flying by Emo, Qingyun's palm. It fell to the ground and did not move for a long time. It looked like the tiger was dead. Seeing this, the villagers were stunned and could not believe what they had just seen. With a wave of his hand, he killed the tiger so easily. This was too powerful. You killed the tiger? After a short silence, the middle-aged villager who spoke before looked at Emo, Qingyun in shock. Uncle, it's just a small tiger. What's there to be surprised about? Seeing the actions of the villagers, Ling Luo smiled indifferently and replied to the middle-aged villager. When Ling Luo was speaking, Wang Zishu, who was at the side, frowned slightly. She said to the middle-aged villager, Uncle, let us take a look at the injuries of the children first. You guys know medicine? Hearing Wang Zishu's words, the villagers were shocked again, and they were pleasantly surprised. Yes. Emo Qingyun did not say much about the villagers' shock. He nodded and walked towards the injured children. Arriving in front of the children, Emo Qingyun sized them up and began to check their injuries. At first glance, Emo Qingyun realized that the injuries of the children should have been caused by the tiger. After that, Emo Qingyun didn't hesitate any longer. He raised his hand and withdrew a pill, intending to feed it to one of the children. Wait a minute. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, a young man revealed a look of awe. He questioned, Were you going to feed you? Will there be any harm in eating that black thing? Ling Luo was displeased. Boy, this is a pill. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Stand aside. Pill. Hearing Ling Luo's words, the expressions of some of the surrounding elders immediately changed. They revealed excited expressions as they looked at Emo Qingyun. The villagers knelt down in front of Emo Qingyun and begged, so it's the Taoist priest. Please save little Qing. She's a poor child. I hope the Taoist priest can Taoist priest. Hearing the villagers' words, Emo Qingyun furrowed his brows and looked puzzled. The middle-aged villager explained when he saw Emo Qingyun's puzzled expression. We call those who practice alchemy as Taoist priest. I see. Hearing the villager's explanation, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, After I treat these children, you can take me to see little Qing. Thank you, Taoist priest. Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the villagers immediately revealed grateful expressions and repeatedly thanked him. After that, Emo Qingyun fed the medicinal pills to the injured children. After that, he released some origin energy to heal their injuries. Not long after, the injured children let out a low groan and slowly opened their eyes. Xiao Yu, Xiao Mu. The villagers were pleasantly surprised when they saw the children wake up. They became more respectful to Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He said to the middle-aged villager, "Uncle, bring me to see little Qing." Okay. The middle-aged villager nodded and led the way when he heard Mo Qingyun. After an hour, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at an ancient village. There were very few people in the village. There were only a few dozen families. The middle-aged villager led them to a shabby hut. On the bed in the hut was a girl with a purple face. After seeing this girl, Mo Qingyun immediately frowned and revealed a look of surprise. He thought to himself, "It seems to be the poison of the life and death thread grass. How did she get poisoned?" Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He asked the middle-aged villager, "Uncle, where did she get poisoned?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the middle-aged villager pondered for a moment before replying, "At the sacred mountain." Little Qing became like this after going to the sacred mountain to pay respects to the 100 Herbs goddess. The holy mountain, the 100 Herbs goddess? Upon hearing the middle-aged villager's reply, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before asking, "Uncle, where is the holy mountain? Can you take us there?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the middle-aged villager immediately replied, "Follow me." The middle-aged villager led Mo Qingyun and the others to the holy mountain. The holy mountain was not far away. After about 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived. After arriving at the sacred mountain, the middle-aged villager led Mo Qingyun and the others to the 100 Herb Goddess Temple. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at the 100 Herbs Goddess Temple. Upon arriving at the 100 Herb Goddess Temple, Mo Qingyun saw an extremely beautiful statue placed at the entrance of the temple. This statue must be the 100 Herbs Goddess. There is a strange grass growing on the arm of the 100 Herbs Goddess Temple. This grass only had a stem and 2 leaves. One was green and the other was purple. At that moment, there were some small gaps on the purple leaf. It seemed to have been cut off by someone. The life and death grass. Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw the purple and green grass. He said in a low voice, "Green is life, purple is death. Life and death are separated by a thin line. It's because of this grass." At this moment, Mo Qingyun was certain that little Qing had been poisoned. While Mo Qingyun was looking at the life and death grass, the middle-aged villager's expression changed. He exclaimed, "Aya, why is there a grass growing on the 100 Herbs Goddess body?" The middle-aged villager walked towards the statue, ready to pluck the grass. "Uncle, wait." Seeing the middle-aged villager's actions, Mo Qingyun immediately spoke up to stop him. The life and death grass was extremely poisonous. If the middle-aged villager touched it, he would be poisoned immediately. After stopping the middle-aged villager, Mo Qingyun released a strand of elemental energy and wrapped it around the life and death grass. Then he plucked it from a 100 Herbs Goddess statue. When Mo Qingyun plucked the life and death grass, the statue emitted a green light, projecting the shadow of an ancient tree onto the ground. This must be the shadow of inheritance of the wooden palace. The 100 Herbs Goddess has appeared. The middle-aged villager was shocked when he saw this. He excitedly knelt down in front of the 100 Herbs Goddess statue. Mo Qingyun did not stop the middle-aged villager. Instead, he frowned and looked at the shadow of the ancient tree. Based on his experience with the previous 2 palaces, to gain the recognition of the shadow of inheritance of the wooden palace, one would need to understand the wood ultimacy. However, Mo Qingyun did not understand the wood ultimacy. This would be troublesome. At this moment, as Mo Qingyun's brows were tightly furrowed and he was feeling troubled, the ancient tree's shadow emitted a mysterious power. This was the wood ultimacy. Wood ultimacy. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's face changed, revealing a gleam of surprise. He guessed, could it be that this inheritance phantom can help people comprehend the power of Upanishad? Because I've already comprehended the fire and earth Upanishad, I didn't pay attention to it. After thinking about it this way, Mo Qingyun immediately understood. That should be the case. If I understand a wood ultimacy now and delay the treatment of little green, what should I do? At this moment, Mo Qingyun was hesitant. However, he quickly made up his mind. He decided to go back and treat little green first. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He immediately returned to the village and headed towards Little Green's residence. When he arrived at Little Green's residence, Mo Qingyun took out the life and death grass and cut off its green leaves. Then, Mo Qingyun forced the juice out of the green leaves and sent it into Little Green's mouth. As the green juice entered Little Green's mouth, Little Green's complexion immediately improved. She spat out a mouthful of green light. As soon as this green ball of light appeared, it emitted a mysterious power that made people feel extremely comfortable. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was shocked and said, This is the wood ultimacy imprint. As long as you refine it, you can directly understand the wood ultimacy. Chapter 274. This must be a test of a doctor's benevolence. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun had a realization. He could vaguely guess the purpose of the wooden palace's test. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer. He found a quiet place and began to refine the ultimacy seal. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun, who was in the midst of his cultivation, began to emit an aura of life. Following the appearance of this aura, the vegetation around him began to grow rapidly. Not long after, a scene of green trees appeared around his body. It's done. Mo Qingyun, who was in the midst of his cultivation, opened his eyes happily. He had refined the ultimacy seal. Let's go. Seeing that the ultimacy seal had been refined, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer. He immediately led the group to the 100 Herb Goddess Temple. 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived at the 100 Herb Goddess Temple once again. When they arrived at the 100 Herb Goddess Temple, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate any longer. He immediately released the wood ultimacy and cast it into the shadow of the ancient tree. Then, everyone saw that the ancient tree's shadow was actually in the state of a withered tree coming back to life, transforming into a towering tree that towered into the sky. In the middle of the tree, there was a tunnel that led directly to the top of the tree. Zishu, go in. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and instructed Wang Zishu. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Wang Zishu nodded obediently. She looked at Mo Qingyun reluctantly and walked into the ancient tree. As Wang Zishu walked into the ancient tree, a branch fell from the ancient tree and landed in Mo Qingyun's hand. The third secret inheritance key is in my hands. Looking at the branch in his hand, Mo Qingyun smiled brightly and kept it. Then, Mo Qingyun and the rest waited outside the 100 Herb Goddess Temple for the arrival of the next location of inheritance. Boom, boom, boom. After waiting for a while, another loud boom came from the ground, following which the 100 Herb Goddess Temple began to move rapidly, gradually disappearing before the eyes of Mo Qingyun and the rest. Bang, bang, bang. Following the disappearance of the 100 Herb Goddess Temple, an endless ocean appeared before the eyes of Mo Qingyun and the rest. In the center of the ocean, there was a huge palace that looked like a dragon palace. However, it would be troublesome to reach the palace. Although there was a path leading to the palace, it was blocked by terrifying waves and ice walls. This is the water-level palace. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He frowned and said in a deep voice, "However, it will be a little troublesome to enter the water palace." What's the trouble? After seeing the palace, Ruoshue's beautiful figure immediately moved. Like a colorful butterfly, she charged toward the waves. After approaching the waves, Ruoshue held her long sword and slashed down at the waves, attempting to split the waves apart and create a passageway. With one slash, the waves were immediately split into two. Then, when the waves surged up from behind, the severed wave returned to its original state. It seemed that Ruoshue's previous slash was useless. After realizing this, Ruoshue did not waste any more time and slashed out a few more times. The result was the same. After Ruoshue's sword slashed down, the split waves quickly returned to their original state. Ruoshue, stop first. You won't be able to split the waves like this. Seeing Ruoshue's actions, Imo Qingyun frowned and thought to himself, water is the softest substance in the world. Softness can subdue hardness. It's useless to attack it head-on. If it loses its softness, can it be broken? At this moment, Imo Qingyun's mind was spinning rapidly as he thought of a way to deal with this situation. I got it. After thinking for a while, Imo Qingyun's eyes lit up and he was overjoyed. He said in surprise, the extreme of water is ice. Once it condenses into ice, it can be broken by force. After thinking about this, Imo Qingyun started to think again. Then, he unconsciously entered a state of emptiness. When Imo Qingyun entered this state, his body started to emit a mysterious power. This power was similar to the water ultimacy, but there were some differences. As time passed, the power on Imo Qingyun's body became stronger and stronger. However, the aura on his body became colder and colder. At this moment, the feeling that Imo Qingyun gave off was like a piece of thousand-year-old ice emitting a cold aura. The water ultimacy is different from the other ultimacies. It has two sides. Ice is hard and water is soft. One is hard and one is soft. Both are hard and soft. At this moment, Imo Qingyun had some understanding in his heart. Then the aura on his body slowly changed. Soon, the cold aura on Imo Qingyun's body disappeared and was replaced by a calm and gentle aura. Now, the feeling that Imo Qingyun gave off was like flowing water in the mountains, quiet and gentle. I have comprehended both the hard and soft sides of the water ultimacy. At this moment, Imo Qingyun, who was in an emptiness state, finally opened his eyes. He was overjoyed. He did not expect that he would understand the true essence of the water ultimacy from Ruoshue's attack. He directly comprehended both the hard and soft sides of the water ultimacy. Seeing that he had comprehended the water ultimacy, Imo Qingyun did not hesitate. He stood up and walked towards the wave. Condense. When he arrived in front of the wave, Imo Qingyun raised his hand and threw a punch at the wave. Then his palm emitted a mysterious power. Once the power was released, the surrounding aura instantly decreased. It was as if they had arrived at a snowy mountain. At the same time, the surging waves slowly froze under the chilling power, turning into a huge block of ice. Crack! After the wave froze into ice, Imo Qingyun did not hesitate and threw another punch at the wave. Bang! Under Imo Qingyun's punch, the wave's ice block cracked and turned into small pieces of ice. Let's go! After breaking the wave's ice block, Imo Qingyun instructed Ruoshue and the other two behind him. Then, he walked towards the palace in the middle of the sea. Under Imo Qingyun's attack, the waves that followed were all frozen into ice cubes. Then, they were all blasted apart by his attacks. After the waves, there were ice walls blocking the way. However, compared to the waves in front, these ice walls were easier to deal with in Imo Qingyun's eyes. Imo Qingyun walked in front of the ice wall and pressed his hand on the ice wall to cast the water ultimacy's gentleness. Under the effect of Imo Qingyun's water ultimacy, the ice wall quickly melted and turned into water. After the ice wall melted, Imo Qingyun and the rest passed through easily and continued to move towards the palace. After 15 minutes, Imo Qingyun and the rest finally arrived at the front of the palace. When they arrived at the front of the palace, Missouri Qingyun saw a mermaid statue at the top of the palace. As Imo Qingyun approached, the mermaid statue released a mermaid projection and shone it on the ground. Ruoshue, go ahead. After seeing the projection, Imo Qingyun instructed Ruoshue and released the water ultimacy on the shadow of legacy. Under Imo Qingyun's ultimacy, The shadow of legacy immediately reacted and swam towards the palace. Before the mermaid swam away, she dropped a tear and flew into Mo Qingyun's hand. Mermaid's tear, the fourth secret key of 5 direction, is in my hands. Chapter 275. After obtaining the fourth key, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged and waited for the arrival of the next legacy land. Boom, boom, boom. After a few hours, the mermaid palace in front of them began to move rapidly and disappeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. As the mermaid palace and the ocean disappeared, the gold seat palace finally appeared. As soon as the gold seat palace appeared, Mo Qingyun saw an endless passageway in front of them. These passageways were filled with armored soldiers with swords in their hands. A passageway. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He frowned and thought to himself, "Is the test of the Gold Seat Palace asking us to pass through this passageway?" After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun said to Ling Luo and Mo Feiyu behind him, "Let's go in." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo and Mo Feiyu nodded and stepped into the passageway. As soon as they entered the passageway, Mo Qingyun felt a strange pressure. Under this pressure, they were surprised to find that their cultivation had dropped to True Energy Realm LV1. Our cultivation has been suppressed to True Energy Realm LV1. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun frowned and was surprised by the situation. However, after a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He led Mo Feiyu and Ling Luo forward in a domineering manner. As Mo Qingyun and the other two moved forward, the armored soldiers in front of them immediately charged at them with long swords. Gravity suppression. Seeing the armored soldiers charging at them, Mo Qingyun immediately used the Earth Ultimacy to suppress the oncoming armored soldiers and affect their movements. At the same time, Mo Qingyun took out his red silk saber and slashed at the armored soldiers. The strength of these armored soldiers was the same as Mo Qingyun and the other two. They were only at True Energy Realm LV1 and had comprehended the Ultimacy. Therefore, under the attacks of Mo Qingyun and the other two, they were like clay chickens and pottery dogs. They were slaughtered by Mo Qingyun and the other two without any ability to fight back. However, Mo Qingyun had a headache because there were too many of these armored soldiers. It was almost impossible to kill all of them. After Mo Qingyun killed 10 armored soldiers, another 10 immediately took their place. It was as if there was no end to them. Not only that, but after Mo Qingyun's massacre for a while, he was shocked to find that not only did the number of armored soldiers not decrease, but it actually increased by quite a bit. If this continued, it would not be good. "Boss, if this goes on, will we die of exhaustion?" After seeing this scene, Ling Luo immediately furrowed his eyebrows tightly and revealed a worried expression. There was no end to the armored soldiers. If they continued to kill like this, not to mention exhausting their true essence, even if they were tired, they would still be exhausted to death. After hearing Ling Luo's words, Mo Feiyu also frowned and asked Mo Qingyun, "Should we retreat first?" Hearing their words, Mo Qingyun frowned even more and said in a heavy tone, "We can't retreat anymore." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu and Ling Luo frowned and asked in confusion, "Why?" However, when they saw the scene behind them, they understood what Mo Qingyun meant. At this moment, there was no way out behind them. There was only a cliff. Seeing this, Mo Feiyu and Ling Luo's expressions tensed up and they did not know what to do. It was impossible for them to get off now. Seeing Ling Luo and Mo Feiyu's reaction, Mo Qingyun looked proud and said in a deep voice, "Don't think about anything else. Let's kill our way through. Even if this path is endless, I will kill my way to the end." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body exuded a strong battle intent and an indomitable aura. This gold throne palace tests the gold ultimacy. There's a hint of malice in the metal, and it's mainly used for killing. It's unyielding and fearless, and it's a flat land. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was suddenly enlightened. His comprehension of the profundity of metal had deepened a little. As this feeling appeared, Mo Qingyun's understanding of the gold ultimacy increased rapidly. In a short moment, Mo Qingyun's gold ultimacy reached level 4. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's understanding of the gold ultimacy had a qualitative leap. Level 4 gold ultimacy. Feeling Mo Qingyun's gold ultimacy, Mo Feiyu and Ling Luo were shocked. They could not believe it. Mo Qingyun had actually comprehended the gold ultimacy again in such a situation. His understanding of the gold ultimacy had increased rapidly. This talent was too shocking. A genius! At this moment, Mo Qingyun sighed and evaluated Mo Qingyun in his heart. Kill. Even if the end of this path is the sky, I'll break through the sky. While Mo Feiyu and Ling Luo were still in shock, Mo Qingyun's expression was resolute and determined as he walked forward with the red silk saber in his hand. At this moment, Mo Qingyun had only one thought, and that was to kill his way through. However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, after this thought appeared in his mind, the scene in the path changed. The armor in the path disappeared. After the armor disappeared, a huge sword tomb appeared not far in front of Mo Qingyun's group. In front of the sword tomb stood a statue with a solemn expression. It held a huge sword and stood with its head held high. Clang, clang, clang. When Mo Qingyun's group approached, the sword in the statue's hand immediately shone brightly and let out a trembling sound. As the sword shone brightly, a projection of the sword was reflected on the ground, forming an inheritance shadow. Ling Luo, seeing the inheritance shadow, Mo Qingyun smiled at Ling Luo and patted his shoulder. This inheritance was suitable for Ling Luo. Boss, seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Ling Luo could not help but feel moved. He stuttered for a long time without saying a word. Seeing Ling Luo's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He lifted his foot and kicked Ling Luo's but, roaring, "Hurry up and go. Don't dilly-dally." After being kicked by Mo Qingyun, Ling Luo immediately showed a bitter expression and pouted, "Boss, you're so annoying. You kicked my butt again." It seemed that Mo Qingyun's kick had kicked him back to normal. He was still as despicable as before. "Boss, I'm going." After that, Ling Luo did not say anything else and walked into the inheritance shadow. When Ling Luo walked into the inheritance shadow, Mo Qingyun released the gold mystery and threw it into the inheritance shadow. Clang! As Mo Qingyun released the gold mystery into the inheritance shadow immediately let out a trembling sound. Then it slowly floated up and lifted Ling Luo up. After the inheritance shadow lifted Ling Luo up, a light appeared and condensed into a small golden sword. It flew into Mo Qingyun's hand. Then the inheritance shadow carried Ling Luo and flew into the sword tomb. After Ling Luo entered the sword tomb, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with ecstasy. The secret keys of the 5 elements were finally gathered. Seeing that, Mo Qingyun took out the secret keys of the 5 elements. The secret keys of the 5 elements shone brightly as soon as they were taken out. Then, the secret keys of the 5 elements flew up and emitted a dazzling ball of light that enveloped Mo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He guessed a possibility in his heart. Chapter 276. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He hurriedly said to Mo Feiyu, "Uncle Mo, don't resist. I'll send you to a place." "Okay." Mo Feiyu immediately nodded after hearing this. After hearing this, Mo Qingyun immediately controlled the Heixian Palace and took Mo Feiyu into it. After taking Mo Feiyu into the Heixian Palace, a strong tearing force descended on Mo Qingyun's body. Then, Mo Qingyun was brought into a palace by this tearing force. This palace was not very big. It was only a few dozen square meters. The decorations inside were very simple. There was only a spiritual platform, a table, and a futon in the palace. On the spiritual platform were a memorial tablet, an incense burner, and a candlestick. The memorial tablet was engraved with the words, "Revered Master of the Five Directions." There were also two items on the table. They were a brocade box and a 5-color pagoda. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked over. Mo Qingyun guessed that the two items on the table should be the inheritance of the Five Directions Masters. Then, without hesitation, Mo Qingyun bowed to the memorial tablets of the Five Directions Masters to show his respect to the strong. After bowing, Mo Qingyun picked up the brocade box and the pagoda and began to examine them. Mo Qingyun first examined the brocade box. The brocade box was covered with the marks of time. It seemed to be made of a special material. Mo Qingyun had never seen this material before. After examining the brocade box, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and slowly opened the brocade box. Once the brocade box was opened, a dazzling light flashed from within. It was so bright that Mo Qingyun could not open his eyes. Squeak, squeak, squeak. After the brocade box was opened, Mo Qingyun saw 5 balls of light. They were like cute little dolls, letting out joyful cries. After seeing the 5 balls of light, Mo Qingyun's body shook. He was overjoyed. Spirit embryo, 5 elements spirit embryo. Mo Qingyun's expression was incomparably excited. He had never thought that the brocade box would contain such an item. A spirit embryo was formed from the origin of heaven and earth. Once it was refined, it could change one's constitution. As long as Mo Qingyun refined any spirit embryo, he would be able to possess the 5 elements physique among the 3,000 physiques. If Mo Qingyun refined all 5 spirit embryos, he would be able to obtain the 5 elements spirit body, which was ranked in the top 10 among the 3,000 unique physiques. It was rumored that those who possessed the 5-element spirit body would have an extremely fast cultivation speed, far surpassing that of ordinary people. Even when they used the 5 elements arts, their might would be much stronger than others. Therefore, people who possessed the 5-element spirit body were definitely the treasures of various large sects and clans. Soon after, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and immediately started to refine the 5-element spiritual embryo. Mo Qingyun first chose the fire spirit embryo, which corresponded to the attribute of his martial soul. It would be easier to refine. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the fire spirit embryo immediately turned into the origin of heaven and earth and was slowly absorbed into Mo Qingyun's body. As this origin of heaven and earth was gradually refined by Mo Qingyun's constitution started to change little by little. At this moment, an extremely pure flame energy was emitted from Mo Qingyun's body. If it was someone who didn't know the truth, they might misunderstand that Mo Qingyun was a flame spirit. Just like this, time passed little by little as Mo Qingyun refined the fire spirit embryo. 5 days later, under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the fire spirit embryo was finally completely refined. At this moment, his constitution had also transformed into the fire spirit body. After transforming into the fire spirit body, Mo Qingyun was shocked to find that even if he did not deliberately cultivate, the origin energy of heaven and earth would still slowly enter his body. As expected of the fire spirit body, the speed at which it absorbs the origin energy of heaven and earth is indeed incomparable to ordinary constitutions. Discovering the changes in his body, Mo Qingyun was immediately ecstatic and excited. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun could not wait and immediately started to refine the other spirit embryos. Just like this, Mo Qingyun once again entered into cultivation. This time, Mo Qingyun wanted to refine the wood spirit embryo. 5 days later, the wood spirit embryo was refined by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was shocked to find that the speed at which he absorbed the origin energy of heaven and earth had doubled again. Excited, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately continued to refine the remaining spirit embryos. Half a month later, the remaining 3 spirit embryos were all refined by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's constitution transformed again and successfully transformed into the 5-element spirit body. As his constitution transformed into the 5-element spirit body, the speed at which Mo Qingyun absorbed the origin energy of heaven and earth could be said to have reached an extreme level. At this moment, the origin energy of heaven and earth around his body was rapidly converging towards him and condensing outside his body. Not long after, a yuan power whirlpool was formed around his body and rapidly drilled into his body. Mo Qingyun immediately revealed an expression of wild joy when he saw this scene, and he became extremely excited in his heart as he said to himself, "If this continues, then even if I sleep every day, my cultivation will probably be able to enter the origin core realm within a year." After sighing with emotion, Mo Qingyun picked up the 5-colored small pagoda and carefully examined it. This 5-colored small pagoda was left behind by the masters of the 5 directions. Its origin must be extremely extraordinary, and its value might even be above that of the 5-element spirit embryos. Immediately, Mo Qingyun sized up the 5-colored small pagoda, wanted to figure it out and make a name for it. After sizing up the 5-colored small pagoda, Mo Qingyun injected origin energy into the 5-colored small pagoda and tried to refine it. However, what made Mo Qingyun somewhat helpless was that no matter how much origin energy he injected into the small pagoda, the result was that there was no effect at all. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun frowned and thought to himself, could it be that refining this small pagoda requires soul energy? With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and impatiently injected soul energy into the small pagoda. However, the result was still the same. The small pagoda still did not change and was just like an ordinary small pagoda. There was no reaction or change at all. This result made Mo Qingyun somewhat helpless. He smiled bitterly and said, "It seems that my cultivation is too low and has not met the requirements to refine the small pagoda." Mo Qingyun did not believe that an existence as strong as the masters of the 5 directions would leave behind something ordinary. Seeing that he could not refine the 5-colored small pagoda, Mo Qingyun stopped and put the small pagoda into his universe bag. After putting away the small pagoda, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed and a sense of surprise rose in his heart. He exclaimed in surprise, "Hey, my origin energy cultivation is about to break through." Mo Qingyun did not expect that his peak true element boundary 5th stage cultivation would show signs of a breakthrough after refining the 5 spirit embryos. This result was somewhat unexpected to Mo Qingyun, but Mo Qingyun was happy to see it. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately compressed the origin energy in his body, preparing to break through. One day later, true element boundary 6th stage, Mo Qingyun, who was in the middle of cultivation, slowly opened his eyes and a look of ecstasy appeared on his face. His cultivation had finally successfully entered the true element boundary 6th stage. After breaking through, Mo Qingyun did not stop and continued to cultivate to stabilize his current realm. One day later, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating. After a day of cultivation, his cultivation had finally been completely stabilized. Since my cultivation has improved, it's time to cultivate my martial skills. As soon as this thought appeared, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to think. Chapter 277. Sun Incinerating Mountain Breaking Blade, Golden Jade True Body, and Raptor Break are all heaven-grade martial skills. I don't need to replace them for the time being. It seems that I only need to replace the Fire Dragon Seal. This time, I need to replace them with some strange and powerful martial skills. Mo Qingyun pondered in his heart, considering what new martial skills to replace those martial skills and learn. He felt that his previous martial skills were still a little weak in terms of attack. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He had some plans in his heart. He thought to himself, now that I have comprehended the ice and wood ultimacy, I could try to start from this aspect and choose 2 martial skills. It's a pity that my cultivation has not reached the Yuan Dan realm. Otherwise, I can directly practice secret techniques. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun showed a trace of regret and sighed in his heart. After letting out a sigh, Mo Qingyun did not think anymore and immediately began to filter the martial skills in his mind. After a while, Mo Qingyun sighed in his heart again and thought to himself, in my previous life, I was too engrossed in alchemy and did not pay attention to most of the martial skills that I collected. Now it seemed a little troublesome to filter out a few martial skills. In the end, after Mo Qingyun pondered for a while, he chose 2 martial skills. Dark Ice Saber, Heaven-grade, high-grade martial skill. When cultivated to the extreme, it can condense 1,000-year dark ice saber chi. It can kill gods and demons and cut the underworld. 10,000 wood vortex, heaven-grade, high-grade martial skill. When cultivated to the extreme, it can imitate endless plants and trees, reaching the realm of using plants and trees as weapons. After briefly recalling the descriptions of the 2 martial skills, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately began to practice. Mo Qingyun first practiced the dark ice saber. Then, Mo Qingyun casually took out the red silk saber and began to practice. Under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, his body immediately emitted a chilling intent, as if he was a block of ice that had not melted for 1,000 years. Following that, Mo Qingyun brandished the red silk saber in his hand and danced in the palace. Every time he brandished the saber, the red silk saber emitted an azure saber light. Wherever the saber light passed, a layer of frost immediately appeared, emitting a shocking chill. Just like that, time passed as Mo Qingyun cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. After this period of cultivation, Mo Qingyun finally cultivated the mysterious ice nether slash to the level of greater mastery. Mo Qingyun did not slack off after cultivating the mysterious ice nether slash to the greater mastery stage. Instead, he immediately began to cultivate the myriad wood rotating force. At this moment, after Mo Qingyun blasted out his origin energy immediately transformed into vegetation, emitting a sharp and dark aura. These vegetation shadows were not like ordinary vegetation, but belonged to the category of man-eating vegetation. They could devour other people's origin energy through vines and branches. If the enemy was not careful and was entangled by these vegetation, their origin energy would be continuously devoured. The outcome would be extremely miserable. Following that, under Mo Qingyun's continuous practice, his origin energy continuously transformed into various types of plants and trees. In addition to the support of the wood ultimacy, these origin energy shadows appeared even more realistic. If one did not pay attention, one would not be able to distinguish them. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately worked even harder to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. At this moment, under Mo Qingyun's continuous practice, the entire palace was filled with various vegetation, like a primitive forest. After this half a month of practice, Mo Qingyun directly cultivated the myriad wood rotating force to the level of essence. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, this way, he would be able to unleash the full power of the all-wood spiraling technique when he used it. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was confident that ordinary people of the same cultivation level would not be able to distinguish the vegetation that he transformed into. After completing the cultivation of the martial skill, Mo Qingyun's heart suddenly jolted and a strange idea appeared in his mind. After Yin Xiuyang's puppet refined the demon bloodline, its eyes could release origin energy light and soul light. Can my heavenly soul demon do the same? As soon as this idea appeared, Mo Qingyun could not wait to test it out. Mo Qingyun thought that if he could do the same, the power of his heavenly soul demon, I would definitely become stronger and more versatile. The more he thought about it, the more Mo Qingyun looked forward to it, and the more anxious he became. He wanted to see the heavenly soul demon I release origin energy light and soul light. Just like that, in the following days, Mo Qingyun began to try to divide the I ray into individual attacks of origin energy and soul light. Swoosh! Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up, and a threatening purple light shot out from his eyes. However, this I ray was still a double attack of soul light and origin energy. This won't do. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun immediately frowned and revealed a tinge of disappointment. However, Mo Qingyun did not give up and continued to try tirelessly. Just like that, in the following days, Mo Qingyun did not stop practicing. Every time, he would only stop when his I ray was completely depleted. However, when his I ray recovered, he continued to release the I ray and repeated the process. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed. The origin energy attack has weakened. At this moment, Mo Qingyun released the I ray and revealed a look of surprise. He thought to himself, "It seems that my guess is correct. As long as I continue to weaken the origin energy input, the only attack left is soul light." After 5 days of trying, he finally made some progress. Then, he did not hesitate and continued to release the I ray to test his guess. Another 5 days passed. Swoosh! A gray I ray shot out from Mo Qingyun's left eye and blasted onto the wall of the palace. At this moment, the aura that the I ray gave off did not contain any origin energy fluctuations. There was only pure soul light fluctuations. Success! After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's face was instantly filled with joy and excitement. After trying tirelessly for the past 10 days, he finally succeeded. So it turns out that to release the soul light, as long as I don't use the origin energy in my body, it will be fine. At this moment, Mo Qingyun had some understanding in his heart. It was as if he had understood everything and instantly found the key to it. Then, Mo Qingyun could not wait and immediately began to test his idea. Swoosh! A red eye ray shot out from Mo Qingyun's right eye and blasted onto the wall of the cave. The result was just as Mo Qingyun had guessed. Now, the I ray no longer contained any soul light fluctuations, only pure origin energy fluctuations were left. It really works. Seeing that the test was successful, Mo Qingyun's face was instantly filled with joy and excitement. From this, it could be seen that he really did it. In the future, he could also release pure origin energy and soul light like Yin Xiaoyang's puppet. Next, Mo Qingyun continued to practice so that he could become more familiar with the control of the origin energy and soul light. However, after some practice, Mo Qingyun had a new discovery. He thought to himself, "Releasing the I ray consumes the I ray in the eyes. Releasing the origin energy, I ray consumes the origin energy in the body. Releasing the soul light consumes the soul light consumes the origin energy in the body. Releasing the soul light consumes the soul light consumes the soul light." After this discovery, Mo Qingyun suddenly understood and knew the source of Yin Xiaoyang's I ray. It turned out that the I ray released by Yin Xiaoyang's puppet was activated by Yin Xiaoyang's origin energy and soul light through the puppet's eyes. This kind of gaze was not the true gaze of I power. At the same time that he understood this point, Mo Qingyun also knew that this I ray had a flaw, which was that it consumed too much origin energy and soul light. Mo Qingyun estimated in his heart that with his current cultivation level, his essence force would be completely depleted after releasing 10 essence force I beams. As for the soul light, with his current cultivation, he could only release about 20. Regarding this, Mo Qingyun felt somewhat helpless. He sighed softly and said, "Forget it. There will be a way when the time comes. There will always be a way in the future." Chapter 278. Outside the Five-Direction Palace. Inchi. That kid hasn't come out yet? Could he have already left the Five-Direction Palace? Savage Beast asked Shi with a gloomy expression. He was worried that Mo Qingyun had already left the Five-Direction Palace when they weren't paying attention. Savage Beast, you don't have to worry about this. Hearing Savage Beast's words, Shi revealed a gloomy expression and replied, I'm extremely familiar with the Five-Direction Palace. Currently, I've arranged Shi to monitor the 6 exits. As long as he comes out, I'll definitely discover him immediately. Let's just wait patiently. Savage Beast's expression turned for the better after hearing Shi's words. However, he still gritted his teeth and said, Humph, that kid dared to steal my treasure. I won't let him go. Don't worry, that kid won't be able to escape this time. Hearing the Savage Beast's cold words, the ghastly puppet sneered and comforted him. Then, the two continued to wait outside the Five-Direction Palace, waiting for Mo Qingyun to appear. Shi and Shi waited for a few more days. Just as Savage Beast was getting impatient, Shi's eyes suddenly lit up. She sneered and said coldly, Kid, you're finally willing to come out. Shi's expression darkened as she said to Savage Beast, Savage Beast, that kid has come out. He's at the exit of the fire position. Okay, we'll go over immediately. Savage Beast's expression darkened after hearing Shi's words. He rushed toward the exit of the fire position. Soon, they arrived at the exit of the fire position. When Shi and Shi arrived at the exit of the fire position, they saw a young man slowly leaving. The purple eye, Lu Fangliang, Hun Yang, will remember this debt. The young man's expression was gloomy as he spoke furiously, as if he was about to go berserk. That's right, at this moment, the person who came out of the fire position was precisely Hun Yang, who had been taught a lesson by Mo Qingyun. After being taught a lesson by Mo Qingyun, Hun Yang prepared to leave the Five-Direction Palace. However, after searching for several days, he finally found the exit. Hun Yang. As she approached Hun Yang, Shi immediately recognized him. She was slightly surprised. The person who came out of the fire position was not Mo Qingyun. Hun Yang came out from the Five-Direction Palace. He should know the situation inside. We can ask him. Shi's expression changed. She had a plan in mind. Soon after, she and Savage Beast quickly walked towards Hun Yang. When Shi and Savage Beast arrived in front of Hun Yang, Savage Beast revealed an impatient expression. He said coldly, Brat, you came out from the Five-Direction Palace. Have you seen the purple eye? At this moment, Savage Beast had already changed its body. It was no longer the huge figure from before. Its body was only slightly bigger than a water buffalo. Therefore, Hun Yang did not recognize it. The purple eye, hearing Savage Beast's words, Hun Yang's expression immediately turned sinister. However, when he saw Savage Beast in front of him, his expression changed. He revealed a look of shock. Demonic beast. A Dan Palace realm demonic beast. When Hun Yang sensed the aura from Savage Beast, his expression immediately changed. He revealed a look of reverence and thought to himself, It's also looking for the purple eye? Soon after, Hun Yang smiled sinisterly. He respectfully reported to Savage Beast, Senior, the purple eye. Following that, Hun Yang reported what had happened to Savage Beast, and Shi, when Hun Yang reported to Savage Beast, he revealed a sinister smile. A sense of schadenfreude rose in his heart. Humph, the purple eye, I didn't expect you to provoke such an existence. Prepared die. From Hun Yang's point of view, Mo Qingyun had provoked a Dan Palace realm expert. He would definitely die in the end. After hearing Hun Yang's words, Savage Beast and Shi's expressions became even colder. They said coldly, I didn't expect that brat to help someone obtain the inheritance of the Fire Throne Palace. From the looks of it, that brat probably won't come out for a while. After realizing this, Shi's expression darkened. He said coldly, It seems like we'll have to wait for a few more days to deal with that brat. However, as long as that brat hasn't left, waiting for a while won't hurt. Following that, Hun Yang reported to Shi and Shi again. Then, he left with a respectful expression. Shi and Shi didn't stop Hun Yang from leaving. From their point of view, Hun Yang was just an insignificant brat. If he left, then so be it. Within the Five-Direction Palace, within the palaces of the Five-Direction Masters, Mo Qingyun had decided to leave this place. He let Mo Feiyu leave the Heixin Palace and appeared beside him. Little brother Qingyun, where did I enter just now? Mo Feiyu appeared beside Mo Qingyun. He revealed a curious expression and asked Mo Qingyun, "That's the Heixin Palace." In response to Mo Feiyu's question, Mo Qingyun didn't plan to hide anything. He replied calmly, "The Heixin Palace is a mansion that I obtained from a hidden treasure." I see. Hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Mo Feiyu revealed a look of understanding. Then, he didn't ask any more questions. "Uncle Mo, I'm preparing to leave the Five-Direction Palace. Let's go." Mo Qingyun gave a simple explanation. Then, he walked out of the palace with Mo Feiyu. After walking out of the palace, Missouri Qingyun saw a scene that shocked him. The five lands of inheritance from before were like a bird's eye view. They appeared below him. Looking at the five lands of inheritance below, Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed. He took a closer look. Soon, he found Lu Fangliang and the other four. They had finished cultivating and seemed to be preparing to leave the lands of inheritance. "Uncle Mo, let's go down and meet up with Brother Lu and the others. Then, we'll leave the Five-Direction Palace together." Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He smiled at Mo Feiyu and walked down to meet up with Lu Fangliang and the others. "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded and followed behind Mo Qingyun. Then, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu walked down together to meet up with Lu Fangliang and the others. 15 minutes later, Mo Qingyun met up with Lu Fangliang and the others and greeted them. After a simple conversation, Mo Qingyun said, "Since everyone has finished cultivating, let's leave." Hearing Mo Qingyun's suggestion, Lu Fangliang immediately nodded in agreement. Then, they walked out of the Five-Direction Palace. Brother Mo, Yuan Dan realm experts are everywhere in the 100 Countries battlefield. It's no longer suitable for us to train. On the way out of the Five-Direction Palace, Lu Fangliang said solemnly, "I plan to leave the 100 Countries battlefield directly after leaving the Five-Direction Palace. What are your plans?" "I don't plan to leave for now. I plan to go to the Yuan Dan realm battlefield to take a look." Mo Qingyun smiled and replied to Lu Fangliang. Then, he looked at Long Yuqian and the others and asked, "Brother Long, what are your plans?" "I also plan to leave the 100 Countries battlefield. I've been out for so long this time. It's time to go back." Long Yuqian took a sip of wine and smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun. He replied, "Moreover, I've gained a lot from this trip to the Earth Palace. I need to find a quiet place to cultivate and comprehend." "We have the same thoughts as Long Yuqian. Boss, I also plan to leave the 100 Countries battlefield." After hearing Long Yuqian's words, Ling Luo and Ruo Shui had the same expression. They also planned to leave the 100 Countries battlefield. That's good too. The 100 Countries battlefield is really chaotic now. It's good to leave. Hearing Lu Fangliang and the others' thoughts, Mo Qingyun nodded. He felt that their considerations were right. It was good to leave the 100 Countries battlefield now. This place was indeed not suitable for them to train. At this moment, after hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wang Zishu blushed and said embarrassedly, "I plan to stay in the 100 Countries battlefield and follow you. You won't object, right?" Mo Qingyun was very clear about Wang Zishu's situation. It was reasonable for her to stay. He smiled faintly and said, "Of course not. You can follow me from now on." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wang Zishu immediately smiled brilliantly and nodded in agreement. She didn't say anything else. Following that, Lu Fangliang frowned. After pondering for a while, he said, "Brother Mo, half a year later, it will be the grand examination. At that time, we will all participate. Will you participate?" "Boss, you must come when the time comes." Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Ling Luo's eyes immediately lit up. He looked at Mo Qingyun with anticipation and said, "If you participate, the first place in the grand examination will definitely be yours. Grand examination? Hearing Lu Fangliang's words, Imo Qingyun thought for a while and replied with a smile, I will participate in half a year later. Boss, it's great that you decided to participate in the grand examination. Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Ling Luo's face immediately lit up with joy. He was extremely excited. Compared to Ling Luo, although Long Yutian and the others weren't as excited, they still had joyful smiles on their faces. At this moment, they walked out of the 5 directional palaces as everyone chatted and laughed. If that's the case, see you in the grand examination. When Lu Fangliang and the others saw that they had left the 5-direction palace, disdain appeared on their faces as they bade farewell to Imo Qingyun. Following that, Imo Qingyun and Lu Fangliang and the others parted ways and left the 100 Countries battlefield. Uncle Imo, Zishu, let's go. After parting ways with Lu Fangliang and the others, Imo Qingyun signaled to Imo Fiyu and Imo Zishu to prepare to head to the Yuan Dan battlefield. However, just as Imo Qingyun was about to leave, a terrifying aura came crashing towards them. The purple eye, this time, I won't let you escape. Following the arrival of the aura, a cold and sinister voice traveled into Imo Qingyun's ears. Not long after, 2 figures appeared in Imo Qingyun's line of sight. Savage Beast, Yin Shi. Seeing the 2 arrive, Imo Qingyun's face immediately darkened and tensed up. He said to Imo Feiyu and Imo Zishu, Don't resist. I'll take you into the Hexian Palace. Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Imo Feiyu and Imo Zishu immediately nodded in response. Following that, they were taken into the Hexian Palace by Imo Qingyun. Chapter 279. Kid, you've got guts. You didn't even run when you saw us. Seeing Imo Qingyun standing at the same spot and not running away in fright because of their arrival, the Yin Shi and Yang Qi both revealed a trace of surprise. Imo Qingyun's behavior surprised them. After a moment of shock, Yin Shi revealed a smug smile and sneered, I almost forgot. This time, even if you want to run, it's useless. We won't give you another chance. Run? Why should I run? Hearing Yin Shi's words, Imo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied nonchalantly. Even a clay figurine had a temper. These 2 guys had tried to kill him one after another. This had touched his bottom line. At this moment, Imo Qingyun was thinking that this time, he would destroy them at all costs. Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Yin Shi immediately sneered and said disdainfully, Don't tell me you still want to fight with us? What's the harm in fighting? Hearing Yin Shi's smug words, Imo Qingyun said arrogantly with a cold expression, I've said it before. The next time I see you, I'll kill you. I'm so scared. Yin Shi's face was full of disdain. She did not take Imo Qingyun's words to heart and said coldly, Enough with the nonsense. It's time to send you on your way. As soon as Yin Shi finished speaking, she summoned the 7 Origin Core Realm Corpse Puppets. At this moment, the 7 corpse puppets' auras seemed to be stronger than before. They had reached the advanced stage of a Yuan dance stage. As soon as the 7 corpse puppets appeared, they let out a piercing sound that made people dizzy and swollen. Yin Shi, you haven't improved at all. You're still using such an old trick. Seeing Yin Shi's actions, Imo Qingyun immediately took out the silver drum and beat it. Dong 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 then, the sound of the drum came out from the silver drum and attacked the surrounding corpse puppets. Under the attack of the drum, the corpse puppets were weakened and could no longer affect Imo Qingyun. Corpse puppets sacrifice. When she saw Imo Qingyun's actions, Yin Shi's face sank. She didn't say anything else and attacked Imo Qingyun again. Soon after, Imo Qingyun saw the bodies of the 7 corpse puppets rapidly shrivel up, their auras weakening rapidly. While corpse puppets' aura was weakening, Yin Shi's aura was rapidly increasing. He was transferring the origin energy within the corpse puppet into his own body in order to increase his cultivation. This kind of ability was similar to Imo Qingyun borrowing the power of the Pill Palace. As Yin Shi made her move, Savage Beast's body also grew rapidly. Soon, it became a behemoth that was dozens of meters tall. Mountain-shattering hand savage beast didn't show any mercy. He raised his huge palm and slammed it towards Mo Qingyun. Since that's the case, I'll let you have your fill. Seeing savage beast and Yin Shi make their move, Mo Qingyun's face sank and revealed a trace of viciousness. He made a difficult decision in his heart. Soon after, a small mansion flew out from Mo Qingyun's body, emitting a terrifying aura. This was the Pill Palace. After taking out the small mansion, Mo Qingyun controlled it and flew toward Savage Beast and Yin Shi Pill Palace. Seeing the small mansion, Savage Beast and Yin Shi's expressions changed. They instantly understood Mo Qingyun's intention. Mo Qingyun was planning to detonate the Pill Palace and use the explosion to destroy them. After realizing this, Yin Shi and Savage Beast's expressions twitched, and they said in fear, "Pill Palace. This kid actually has such a thing." They were very clear that once Mo Qingyun detonated the Pill Palace, under the impact of the violent origin energy, they would definitely die. Yin Shi quickly retreat. Shortly after, the Savage Beast warned Yin Shi before it fled at top speed, not daring to hesitate in the slightest. This time, they seemed to have miscalculated. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to have such a trump card. Want to retreat? It's too late. Seeing Savage Beast and Yin Shi's actions, Mo Qingyun revealed a ruthless expression and said coldly, "Explode." Boom. Under Mo Qingyun's control, the Pill Palace instantly exploded, letting out a loud explosion. Shortly after, a terrifying origin energy burst out from the Pill Palace and instantly swallowed Savage Beast and Yin Shi. Once she was swallowed by the Pill Palace's origin energy, Yin Shi let out a miserable cry, and her voice was filled with fear. "Kid, I won't let you go." When Yin Shi let out a cry of fear, Savage Beast also let out a cry of anger. At this moment, his voice was extremely weak. There was no other way. This guy's body had grown bigger, and the impact he received had increased by a lot. Naturally, his injuries were more serious. If it wasn't for his strong physical body and high cultivation, he might have been blasted into pieces. Teleportation Gate appear. Once the Pill Palace exploded, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately summoned the Teleportation Gate and used it to escape, avoiding being swallowed by the Pill Palace's origin energy. While using the Teleportation Gate to escape, Mo Qingyun did not forget to release his soul power to sense the surrounding situation. Swoosh! At this moment, under the detection of Mo Qingyun's soul power, a silver-gray light flew out from the violent origin energy. A cold smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face when he saw the gray figure appear. He coldly said, "Yin Shi, you will not be able to escape." Soul Gaze. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, a ray of gray light burst out from his left eye. As soon as the Soul Gaze appeared, it blasted against the gray light ball in the blink of an eye, following which the gray light ball dimmed a little. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's Soul Gaze, Yin Shi immediately let out a scream, and the aura on his body weakened a little. Raptor Break. After shooting a ray of Soul Gaze at Yin Shi, Mo Qingyun's body moved, and he turned into a ray of light as he chased after Yin Shi, seeing Mo Qingyun chasing after him. Yin Shi's face twitched, and his face was filled with fear. He was actually caught up by Mo Qingyun. "You can't escape." Mo Qingyun didn't pay any attention to Yin Shi's fear and attacked him again. At this moment, even the Pill Palace had exploded. If he did not kill Yin Shi, the loss would be too great. Soul Gaze. In Mo Qingyun's left eye, a ray of gray light appeared again and shot out a ray of Soul Gaze. Puff! As soon as the Soul Gaze shot out, it blasted against Yin Shi's body forcefully, causing Yin Shi's aura to weaken again. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer held back and shot another ray of Soul Gaze at Yin Shi, continuously attacking his soul. Following which, after suffering a few more rays of Soul Gaze, Yin Shi's soul finally dissipated. This also meant that Yin Shi was killed by Mo Qingyun. There's still one savage beast left. I wonder if he's dead. After killing In Shi, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he immediately returned to his original spot to see if Savage Beast was still alive. This Savage Beast was very powerful. If he was not completely eliminated, it would be a huge problem. In the future, Mo Qingyun would no longer have the Pill Palace. If he was not able to eliminate Savage Beast this time, it would be troublesome the next time they met. After a short while, Mo Qingyun returned to the place where the Pill Palace had exploded. At this moment, it was already a mess. In the middle of this mess, a huge figure lay there, emitting a weak aura. This huge figure was naturally Savage Beast. Savage Beast was not dead yet. However, from the aura he was emitting, he was probably not much better off than dead. After seeing this scene, a thought suddenly appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. With this thought, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and slowly walked towards Savage Beast. Seeing Mo Qingyun approaching him, Savage Beast moved his body as if he wanted to stand up. However, at this moment, his injuries were too severe. Not to mention standing up, it was difficult for him to even turn over. With regards to Savage Beast's actions, Mo Qingyun did not care. After approaching him, he coldly said, "I'll give you two choices. One is to submit to me, and the other is to die." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast raised his head and looked at Mo Qingyun. His eyes were filled with a complicated expression as he fell silent. He really did not expect that he and In Shi would work together to deal with Mo Qingyun, but the result would still be like this. With regard to Savage Beast's silence, Mo Qingyun did not rush him. Instead, he quietly stood at the side, waiting for his reply. "I'm willing to submit to you." After a moment of silence, Savage Beast made a difficult choice. Perhaps in his opinion, it was better to live than to die. Although he had to submit to Mo Qingyun, at least he would be able to keep his life. Seeing that Savage Beast was willing to submit to him, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and coldly said, "Release your soul. I want to plant a soul imprint in it." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast's expression immediately changed. His tone was somewhat angry as he said, "No, impossible. I can't accept this request. You're too strong. If I can't restrain you, I won't dare to keep you by my side." Mo Qingyun seemed to have expected the Savage Beast to reply in such a manner. After hearing the Savage Beast's reply, he replied calmly, "Keeping a Pill Palace realm expert who hates me to the bone by my side is too dangerous. I don't want to take this risk." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast's expression immediately changed. He also thought that Mo Qingyun's words made sense. If it was him, he wouldn't dare to do so. Seeing the change in Savage Beast's expression, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and said, "You should know that I have the heavenly soul demon eye. Let me plant a soul imprint in your soul. Once I open up my Yuanli Soul Palace, you can also become my star general like the 9 temples." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast slightly hesitated and said, "Okay, I'm willing to submit to you." Following which, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and planted a soul imprint in Savage Beast's soul. Subordinate Savage Beast greets Master. After having his soul imprint planted by Mo Qingyun, Savage Beast crawled up with difficulty and bowed to Mo Qingyun. Seeing Savage Beast's actions, Mo Qingyun waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need to be so courteous. He instructed, "Now that your injuries are very serious, I'll take you into He Xian Palace to recuperate." "Thank you, Master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast once again expressed his gratitude. Following which, Mo Qingyun put Savage Beast into He Xian Palace. Then, he took out a large number of pills and gave them to Savage Beast, saying, "Here are some pills. After you consume them, your injuries should recover faster." "Thank you, Master." Looking at the pills in front of him, Savage Beast's face immediately lit up, and he thanked Mo Qingyun. At the same time, Savage Beast's impression of Mo Qingyun slightly changed. Chapter 280. After Mo Qingyun left the Hexian Palace, Missouri Feiyu and Wang Zishu followed him out. Little brother Qingyun, that demonic beast just now? Mo Feiyu asked Mo Qingyun anxiously as soon as he came out of the Hexian Palace. When Savage Beast and Mo Feiyu arrived, he sensed the aura of a Pill Palace realm expert from Savage Beast. A Pill Palace realm expert came to deal with Mo Qingyun, but Mo Qingyun was fine while the other party disappeared. This kind of thing was really too abnormal. This made Mo Feiyu extremely confused and surprised. I've already dealt with him. Hearing Mo Feiyu's question, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and didn't say anything else. Seeing that Mo Qingyun wasn't willing to say anything, Mo Feiyu didn't ask anymore. He changed the topic and asked, "Little brother Qingyun, are we going to the Yuan Dan battlefield next?" "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded and smiled faintly at Mo Feiyu. He asked, "Uncle Mo, are you willing to be my guide?" "Of course." Mo Qingyun chuckled and agreed without hesitation. Then he revealed a trace of worry and said, "However, I have many enemies in the Yuan Dan battlefield. If you enter the Yuan Dan battlefield with me, I'm afraid it will cause a lot of unnecessary trouble." "Uncle Mo, you don't have to worry about this." Seeing Mo Feiyu's concern, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at him to tell him not to worry. He said coldly, "It's fine if they don't provoke me, but if they do, I don't mind teaching them a lesson. If that's the case, then it's fine." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu didn't think too much and nodded in response. In his opinion, even Dan Palace realm experts couldn't do anything to Mo Qingyun, let alone Yuan Dan realm experts. Seeing Mo Feiyu let go of his worries, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Mo Feiyu and Wang Zishu, "Let's go." Then, Mo Qingyun and the other two set off for the Yuan Dan battlefield. On the way to the Yuan Dan battlefield, Mo Feiyu looked curious. He turned to look at Mo Qingyun and smiled faintly. "Little brother Qingyun, I heard from little brother Ling Luo and the others that you are from the Great Xia?" "That's right." Mo Qingyun's expression changed when he heard Mo Feiyu's words. He was surprised as he asked, "Uncle Mo, are you from the Xia as well?" Knowing that Mo Qingyun was from the Xia, Mo Feiyu's expression changed and he became excited. Then, Mo Feiyu looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly and asked, "Yes, I'm from a small town in Lianyan City in the Xia." "Have you heard of Lianyan City?" "A small town in Lianyan City?" Mo Qingyun was stunned when he heard Mo Feiyu's words. He became excited and thought to himself, "It can't be that coincidental, right?" Soon after, Mo Qingyun bitterly smiled. He turned to Mo Feiyu and asked in a probing manner, "Uncle Mo, don't tell me you're for the Northern Desert Town's Mo family?" "Northern Desert Town." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu's body shook and he became excited. Then, Mo Feiyu looked at Mo Qingyun and said excitedly, "You're from the Mo family in Northern Desert Town?" When he said this, Mo Feiyu looked at Mo Qingyun in a different way. He had thought of one possibility. Mo Qingyun could be his son. He did not believe that the Mo family would have a second Mo Qingyun. How could there be such a coincidence in the world? Although he had thought of this before, when he thought of Mo Qingyun's talent, he gave up on the idea. Now that he had a conversation with Mo Qingyun, this idea immediately grew stronger and took root in his heart. "You're from the Mo family in Northern Desert Town." Hearing Mo Feiyu's question, Mo Qingyun had an answer in his heart. It seemed that his guess was right. This Mo Feiyu in front of him should be his father. Then, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu looked at each other with strange expressions and remained silent for a while. After a short silence, they spoke at the same time and asked each other a few questions. "Is your grandfather Mo Hong Tian? Is your father Mo Hong Tian? Is your eldest uncle Mo Feipeng? Is your eldest brother Mo Feipeng? Is your second aunt Mo Yuru? Is your second sister Mo Yueru? Is your fourth uncle Mo Feilin? Is your fourth brother Mo Feilin?" "Yes." "Then you're—" In an instant, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu were stunned. They looked at each other blankly and could not say a word for a long time. Father, son, ha! After a short silence, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu spoke at the same time. Then both of them laughed. This result was far beyond their expectations. Brother Qingyun, Uncle Mo, seeing Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu's abnormal behavior, Wang Zishu was stunned. She did not understand what was going on. Hearing Wang Zishu's question, Mo Feiyu laughed and replied, Zishu, actually, Qingyun is my son. Son? Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Wang Zishu was shocked. She was very surprised by this result. Seeing Wang Zishu's expression, Mo Feiyu was delighted and explained with a faint smile, It's like this. Then, Mo Feiyu gave a simple explanation to Wang Zishu. Wang Zishu was stunned as she listened. This pair of father and son who had been separated for more than 10 years unexpectedly met in the 100 Countries battlefield. This was too much of a coincidence. I see. After being stunned for a short while, Wang Zishu smiled brightly and said happily, In that case, Uncle Mo, won't you be able to take revenge with Brother Qingyun? With Brother Qingyun around, we can definitely take care of those bad guys. Haha, that's true. Hearing Wang Zishu's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and agreed with her words. At the same time, Mo Qingyun was also surprised by Wang Zishu's current behavior. This girl seemed to have become more lively recently. After glancing at Wang Zishu, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Mo Feiyu. With a cold expression, he asked, Father, do you have any enemies in the Yuan Dan battlefield? Hearing Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu quickly understood Mo Qingyun's plan. Mo Qingyun was planning to take revenge for him. The main enemy is the Hong family from the Blade Kingdom. The others were all instigated by them. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu's expression turned cold. He slowly opened his mouth and said, According to what I know, Pine Cauldron City, which is closest to us, is a subordinate faction of the Hong clan. Pine Tripod City. Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened. He said coldly, Father, lead the way. We'll go to Pine Tripod City. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu nodded and didn't say anything else. From his point of view, it was only right for a son to take revenge for his father. There was no need for formalities. In the following days, Mo Qingyun and the other two quickly rushed to Pine Tripod City. 3 days later, Mo Qingyun and the other two arrived at a group of short mountains. Looking at the short mountains in front of him, Mo Feiyu smiled faintly and said to Mo Qingyun and the other two, As long as we cross these short mountains, we will enter the Yuan Dan battlefield. After informing Mo Qingyun and the other two, Mo Feiyu took the lead and prepared to cross the short mountains. After Mo Qingyun's group of 3 entered the short mountain range, the expressions of the 3 immediately changed and tensed up a little. At that moment, an extremely ugly monstrous beast appeared before the 3 of them. At first glance, this demon beast looked somewhat similar to I-Demon. However, it didn't have wings. Instead, there were a few round beads on top of its huge eyeballs. I-Demon. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun was sizing up this monster, Mo Feiyu's expression changed, and he exclaimed in shock. Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he asked in surprise, This is also an I-Demon? Yes. Mo Feiyu nodded and said in a deep voice, This is an Yuan Dan realm I-Demon. It looks a little different from a true energy realm I-Demon. The more beads on its head, the stronger it is. This I-Demon has 3 beads on its head, which means that its cultivation is at the 3rd level of Yuan Dan realm. So that's how it is. Hearing Mo Feiyu's explanation, Mo Feiyu immediately understood, and a look of joy appeared on his face. He didn't expect an Yuan Dan realm I-Demon to exist. This news came as a great surprise to him. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with excitement as he quickly approached I-Devil. Qingyun, don't be reckless. The I-Demon's strength is very strange. It's not that easy to deal with. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Mo Feiyu immediately became worried and reminded Mo Qingyun, "Father, don't worry, I have a way to deal with it." Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and comforted him. Then, Mo Qingyun quickly walked towards Mo Qingyun and attacked the eye demon. Ray. Purple light flashed in Mo Qingyun's eyes, and a purple stream of light erupted from them and shot towards the eye devil. Whoosh! Seeing Mo Qingyun attacking it, the eye demon didn't hesitate and shot out an eye ray. Bang! Then, the two rays of eye power collided with each other, emitting a blinding purple light. However, what shocked Mo Feiyu was that the eye ray of the eye demon was no match for Mo Qingyun's eye ray. After a short stalemate between the two eye power beams, Mo Qingyun's eye power beam shattered eye demon's eye power beam. After defeating the eye ray of the eye demon, Mo Qingyun's eye ray continued to attack the eye demon. Puchi! Before the eye demon could react, the ray of eye power pierced through its body. Then, the eye demon fell to the ground, and its body started to twitch. From the looks of it, there was an 80% chance that it would not survive. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore. He walked towards the eye demon excitedly and put it into the Heishin Palace. After putting away the corpse of the eye demon, Mo Qingyun was looking forward to it. He thought to himself, "I wonder what changes will happen to my heavenly soul demon eye after I refine the bloodline of the Yuan Dan realm eye demon." With this thought, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore and immediately prepared to refine the bloodline of the eye demon. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was looking forward to it, Mo Feiyu's eyes widened and he looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief. Eye demon was killed in an instant by Mo Qingyun. "Qingyun, you killed the eye demon?" He didn't expect the eye demon that everyone was worried about to be killed by Mo Qingyun so easily. Mo Qingyun smiled at Mo Feiyu's shock and said, "Father, Zishu, I need to cultivate for a while. Follow me into the Heishin Palace." Chapter 281. After entering the Heishin Palace, Missouri Qingyun extracted the bloodline of the eye devil and started to refine it. Pung, pung, pung. Once the Yuan Dan realm eye devil's bloodline was absorbed into Mo Qingyun's body, his eyes started to twitch rapidly. Under the rapid twitching of his eyes, the bloodline of the Yuan Dan realm eye devil was quickly refined and absorbed by his eyes. The power of the bloodline of the heavenly soul devil eye is strengthening. Sensing the change in the strength of the bloodline in his eyes, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he was pleasantly surprised. The bloodline of the Yuan Dan realm eye devil could actually strengthen his heavenly soul devil eye bloodline. This meant that he could refine the bloodline of the Yuan Dan realm eye devil and continue to strengthen his bloodline. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's heart started to look forward to killing the Yuan Dan realm eye devil. One day later, under Mo Qingyun's hard work, the bloodline of the eye devil was finally completely refined by him. After refining the bloodline of the eye devil, Mo Qingyun could clearly feel that his eye power was stronger than before. Now, the power of his eyes was comparable to the attack of a level 5 Yuan Dan realm expert. It was enough to make a level 5 Yuan Dan realm expert wary. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed and became even more eager to kill the eye devil. He believed that as long as he continued to refine the bloodline of the eye devil, it wouldn't be long before the power of his eyes could be comparable to that of a peak Yuan Dan realm expert. After rejoicing in his heart, Mo Qingyun revealed a trace of regret and said to himself, "It's a pity that the Pill Palace has already exploded. Otherwise, I'm afraid it wouldn't be long before I could borrow the Yuan energy of the Pill Palace." After feeling a little regret, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and revealed a bright smile. "Although I lost the Pill Palace, it was worth it to be able to capture the savage beast. Since the Eye Devil bloodline has been refined, it's time to continue on our journey." With that thought, Mo Qingyun moved and arrived beside Mo Feiyu and Mo Feiyu. Qingyun, have you finished cultivating? Seeing Mo Qingyun appear, Mo Feiyu and Mo Feiyu's expressions changed as they questioned Mo Qingyun. I'm done cultivating. Let's continue on our way. Mo Qingyun nodded. Then, he moved Mo Feiyu and Wang Zishu out of the Heixian Palace and headed towards Pine Cauldron City. 5 days later, Mo Qingyun's group of 3 finally saw Pine Cauldron City. Young lord, my injuries have healed. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to enter Pine Cauldron City, Savage Beast sent him a voice transmission. There was a hint of excitement in his voice. Savage Beast's injuries have recovered. Hearing Savage Beast's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed into one of pleasant surprise. After entering the Pine Cauldron City, a battle was unavoidable. The fact that the Savage Beast had recovered from its injuries at this time was truly a piece of good news. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He controlled His Highness Heixian to release Savage Beast. The moment Savage Beast appeared, his body emitted a terrifying aura, causing Mo Feiyu and Wang Zishu's expressions to change. Demonic Beast. This is the Pill Palace Demonic Beast. Seeing Savage Beast in front of him, Mo Feiyu's expression twitched. He looked at Mo Qingyun and asked in confusion, Qingyun, this is... Father, don't panic. Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at him, indicating that there was no need for him to panic. He smiled comfortingly and said, the Savage Beast has already recognized me as its master. It is now my mount. Mount. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu's expression changed again. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. The Pill Palace Demonic Beast that was chasing after Mo Qingyun had now recognized Mo Qingyun as his master. This was too ridiculous. At this moment, Mo Feiyu didn't know what to say. If he had to say something, he could only say that Mo Qingyun's act was a little too pretentious. After being stunned for a short while, Mo Feiyu was confused and asked, didn't he want to kill you before? I used some methods to make him submit to me. Mo Qingyun smiled and gave a simple reply to Mo Feiyu. Then he instructed Savage Beast, restrain your aura and maintain it at the first level of Yuan Dan realm. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast responded respectfully and began to restrain its aura. Father, Zishu, let's ride Savage Beast into the city. After Savage Beast retracted its aura, Mo Qingyun instructed Mo Feiyu and Zishu before jumping on a Savage Beast's back. Savage Beast's current size was about the size of 2 elephants added together. It was more than enough for Mo Qingyun and the other 2 to sit on its back. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu and Zishu didn't hesitate and jumped on a Savage Beast's back one after another. Shortly after, Savage Beast carried Mo Qingyun and the other 2 to Pine Cauldron City Gate. At this moment, the city gate of Pine Cauldron City was filled with people who were preparing to enter the city. They were all paying the entrance fee. Because Savage Beast's body was too big, it was extremely conspicuous. As Savage Beast approached, it attracted the attention of the surrounding people. Could the 3 of them be spiritual beast masters? To be able to make a Yuan Dan realm demonic beast willing to become a mount, this isn't simple. Spiritual beast masters have a very honorable status and are extremely rare. Judging from their appearance, they don't seem to be spiritual beast masters. But no matter what, the fact that they can obtain a Yuan Dan realm demonic beast as a mount is enough to show that they aren't ordinary people. That's true. Those who can obtain a mount are people with some background. We can't afford to offend these people. When Mo Qingyun and the other 2 approached, the crowd outside the city gate immediately whispered and looked at Mo Qingyun and the other 2 with envy. They all knew in their hearts that the higher the cultivation of a demonic beast, the more difficult it was to tame it. The difference in difficulty was roughly the same as the difference in difficulty between killing a Yuan Dan realm expert and killing a Dan Palace realm expert. A Yuan Dan realm mount. Furthermore, it's such a valiant mount. I like it. Seeing Savage Beast appear, a young man in embroidered clothes beside the city guard sneered. Young Master Yujing, since you like it, we'll let this kid transfer the mount to you later. Hearing the words of the young man in embroidered clothes, a city guard beside the young man in embroidered clothes immediately revealed a flattering expression. Shortly after, the young man in embroidered clothes sneered and waited for Mo Qingyun and the other two to slowly walk closer. About 15 minutes later, it was finally Mo Qingyun and the other two's turn to enter the city. When they arrived at the city gate, Mo Qingyun took out some elemental spirit stones and handed them to the city guard at the gate. After paying the entrance fee, Mo Qingyun let Savage Beast lead the three into Pine Cauldron City. Wait a moment. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to enter the city, the young man in embroidered clothes, Yu Jing, said coldly. Shortly after, he revealed a cold smile and ordered the city guard beside him to block the path of Mo Qingyun and the other twos. Seeing the actions of the city guard, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened, and he said with a displeased tone, "What's the meaning of this?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the young man in embroidered clothes, Yu Jing, smiled disdainfully and coldly said, "Kid, Pine Cauldron City doesn't allow mounts. If you want to enter the city, leave your mount behind. Of course, you can also sell your mount to me." It turned out that he was after the savage beasts. After hearing the other party's words, Mo Qingyun understood the other party's intentions. A playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he said, "You want to buy my mount? That's right." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the cold smile on Yu Jing's face became even wider. He sneered and said, "Kid, I'll give you 10,000 elemental spirit stones if you give me your mount." It was obvious that he was going to force a deal. Seeing Yu Jing's actions, the expressions of the surrounding people immediately changed. They began to worry for Mo Qingyun and the other two. These three are in for a bad time. In Pine Cauldron City, Yu Jing has never failed to get anything he wants. I don't know how these three will respond. In my opinion, they will probably give up their mounts to save their lives. Although losing a Yuan Dan realm mount isn't too bad, it's good enough that they can save their lives. That's right. Going against Yu Jing in Pine Cauldron City is very unwise. At this moment, the surrounding people all looked at Mo Qingyun and the other two with sympathy. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun and the other two were really unlucky enough to be targeted by Yu Jing. At this moment, while the surrounding people were whispering, Mo Feiyu's expression suddenly darkened. He said in a voice filled with anger, "Qingyun, is he from the Yu family? From the Yu family?" Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed slightly. His gaze towards Yu Jing was a little colder. On the way to Pine Cauldron City, Mo Qingyun had heard Mo Feiyu say that the Yu family was a vassal force of the Saber King Nation's Hong family. In other words, the Yu family was the target of Mo Qingyun and the others. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun sneered. He raised his hand and took out a Chinquan bag. He poured out 20,000 elemental holy stones. Then, Mo Qingyun looked at Yu Jing mockingly and said with a playful smile, "There are 20,000 elemental holy stones here. Sell your mother to me. Sell your mother to me." As soon as Mo Qingyun's words fell, the surrounding people were stunned. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. Is this kid crazy? He actually dared to provoke Yu Jing. Does he want to die? This kid probably doesn't know how powerful Yu Jing is. However, it's too late for him to regret it now. He's still too young. He's too reckless. The Yu family has a 6th level Yuan Dan cultivator holding the fort. Not only that, but the Yu family is also related to the Saber King Nation's Hong family. Offending the Yu family is equivalent to offending the Saber King Nation's Hong family. In that case, this kid and the other two are dead meat. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people sighed. They felt sorry for Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun would not be able to escape death after offending Yu Jing. "Kid, you're courting death." As soon as he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Jing's face immediately darkened. He ordered the people behind him, "All of you, attack immediately." Take down this kid and the other two. I want them alive. Yes, young Master Yu Jing. As soon as they heard Yu Jing's order, the guard behind him immediately responded and surrounded Mo Qingyun and the other two. These guards were not strong. Most of them were only at the first level of Yuan dance stage. The strongest one was only at the second level of Yuan dance stage. Kid, you've offended our young Master Yu Jing. Prepare to die. As soon as they heard Yu Jing's order, the city guards immediately sneered and attacked Mo Qingyun and the other two. Roar. However, as the city guards approached, the savage beast immediately roared and raised its huge palm to slap the city guards. Bang, bang, bang. Subsequently, the city guards were sent flying by the savage beast like rubber balls. As soon as they saw this scene, the surrounding people were shocked. Some of them were shocked by the savage beast's strength. The way they looked at the savage beast changed. This mount was not at the first level of Yuan dance stage. Could it be that this mount was at the third level of Yuan dance stage? At this moment, doubt arose in the hearts of the crowd. They looked at the savage beast with reverence. In their opinion, only a mount at the third level of Yuan dance stage could send the city guards flying so easily. A mount at the third level of Yuan dance stage. After witnessing the strength of the savage beast, Yu Jing's expression immediately trembled. Like the people beside him, he also thought that the savage beast was at the third level of Yuan dance stage. As for the fourth level of Yuan dance stage, he did not consider it. After all, the difference between the fourth level of Yuan dance stage and the third level of Yuan dance stage was too great. Kid, you actually dare to touch my Yu family's people. I'll remember this. After looking at the savage beast with reverence, Yu Jing's expression turned gloomy. He said ruthlessly, "If you have the guts, stay here and wait for my revenge." As soon as Yu Jing finished speaking, he did not dare to stay any longer and immediately fled into Pine Cauldron City. From the looks of it, he should be returning to his family to get reinforcements. Mo Qingyun did not care about Yu Jing's actions. He smiled faintly at Mo Feiyu and said, "Father, let's follow him." Mo Qingyun thought that since they were going to the Yu family later, Yu Jing would not be able to escape when they took care of the Yu family. Chapter 282. Pine Tripod City, inside the city governor's mansion. After Yu Jing escaped from the city gate, he hurriedly rushed here. As soon as he entered the city governor's mansion, Yu Rao rushed into the conference hall with a furious expression. "Jinger, why are you so flustered?" Seeing Yu Jing's arrival, an old man in the conference hall asked with a concerned expression. "Grandfather, I met a few arrogant fellows at the city gate just now. Not only did they refuse to pay the entrance fee, but they even attacked and injured people." Next, Yu Jing told him what had happened. However, 90% of what Yu Jing said was fabricated by him. He had distorted the truth. However, no one doubted Yu Jing's words. After hearing what he said, they immediately became furious. How dare they touch our Yu family's people in Pine Tripod City? It seems like our Yu family is too kind. Pine Tripod City's city governor, Yu Zhao, was furious. His face was extremely dark as he ordered a young man beside him. "Yu Rao, bring some men over and teach those 3 people an unforgettable lesson. Let others know the consequences of offending our Yu family." Second uncle, wait a minute. Yu Jing's expression instantly went grim when he saw Yu Zhao's instructions, and he hurriedly said, "Those 3 people have an extremely formidable mount. I estimate that the strength of that mount ought to have attained the 3rd level of the Origin Core stage, so I think that ordinary city guards are probably not a match for them. A level 3 Yuan dance stage mount." Yu Zhao's expression changed slightly when he heard Yu Jing's words. He was surprised by this news. A mount with a strength at the 3rd level of the Origin Core stage was extremely rare. After a short moment of silence, Yu Zhao snorted coldly and said to Yu Rao, "Go find Guardian Lin Liangxian and ask him to go with you." "Yes, city governor." Yu Rao responded respectfully when he heard Yu Zhao's order. He then stood up and walked out of the conference hall. Seeing Yu Rao walk out of the conference hall, Yu Jing quickly followed him with a cruel smile on his face. He said proudly, "Boy, with Guardian Lin Liangxian here, even if you have a level 3 Yuan dance stage mount to protect you, you won't be able to escape. When the time comes, I'll make sure you suffer a fate worse than death." After that, Yu Jing reorganized his men and rushed to the city gate. Not long after, a commotion arose on the city road. "Scram! Scram to the side! Don't block my way!" Among the restless crowd, a rude and tyrannical voice sounded from within. Soon after, the pedestrians on the city road were forced to the sides of the road by a group of fierce-looking city guards. As the pedestrians were forcefully pushed aside, a young man who was flaunting his prowess appeared behind the city guards. This person was Yu Jing. At that moment, there were two people standing beside Yu Jing. They were a young man and an old man. This young man was Yu Rao, who had been in the Great Council Hall. As for the old man beside him, he should be Lin Liangxian. When the pedestrians on the city road saw that the city guards had forcefully kicked them to the side of the road, they all showed dissatisfied expressions. However, due to the Yu family's powerful influence, they did not dare to voice their anger. Yu Jing and the other two smiled disdainfully at the anger of the people around them. They did not take it to heart at all and continued to walk towards the city gate. Not long after, a huge figure appeared in front of them. It was Mo Qingyun and the other two. "Not only did you not run away immediately after injuring the Yu family's men, but you still dared to come to the city. You have guts." We saw the huge figure in front of him. Yu Jing's face turned gloomy. A cold smile appeared on his face as he said, "But this is good as well. I don't have to look for you, which saves me some trouble." When Yu Jing saw Mo Qingyun and the other two, Mo Qingyun also saw Yu Jing. A faint smile appeared on his face. Looking at Yu Jing's posture, he must have brought back reinforcements. At that moment, there were 20 to 30 city guards beside Yu Jing. The strength of this batch of city guards was much stronger than the previous city guards. In particular, the old man who came with Yu Jing had a cultivation level of level 4 Yuan dance stage. It seemed like Yu Jing had brought back strong reinforcements. However, after Mo Qingyun sized them up, a disdainful smile appeared on his face. He did not take them to heart. Yu Jing had brought a level 4 Yuan dance stage cultivator and wanted to get back at them. He was too naive. While Mo Qingyun was sizing up Yu Jing and the others, Yu Jing smiled coldly at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, "Boy, you have guts. Not only did you not run away after injuring the Yu family's men in Pine Tripod City, but you still dare to enter the city openly. Do you think that you could be arrogant just because you have a level 3 Yuan dance stage cultivator as your mount? A level 3 Yuan dance stage cultivator as your mount?" We heard Yu Jing's words. Mo Qingyun was stunned at first. Then, he smiled faintly and looked at Yu Jing and the other two playfully. It turned out that Yu Jing had thought that Savage Beast was only a level 3 Yuan dance stage cultivator, so he brought a level 4 Yuan dance stage cultivator with him. Mo Qingyun smiled lightly as he glanced at Yu Jing with a calm expression, and he said indifferently, "Could it be that all of you think you can get back at me by bringing an old man at the 4th level of the Origin Core stage?" When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Liangxian's face immediately darkened. He took a step forward unhappily and said coldly, "You're just a level 5 true energy stage kid, but you talk big. If I want to take care of you, it's just a matter of minutes. Just a matter of minutes." When he heard Lin Liangxian's arrogant words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain. He curled his lips and said, "Old man, people need face and tree bark. Don't be so full of yourself. If you can't do it later, you'll be slapped in the face." What a sharp-tongued kid. When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Liangxian's face immediately darkened. He gritted his teeth and looked at Mo Qingyun. When he saw Lin Liangxian's angry face, Yu Jing's face turned cold. He said respectfully to Lin Liangxian, "Guardian Lin, you don't have to waste your breath on this kid. Just teach him a lesson. After you teach him a lesson, he won't dare to be so arrogant." Okay. When he heard Yu Jing's words, Lin Liangxian's face darkened. He took a step forward and was about to attack Mo Qingyun. "Oh, the Yu family is so impressive. However, When Lin Liangxian was about to attack, a mocking voice came from the crowd. After the mocking voice, the crowd saw a coarse middle-aged man holding a pair of scissors slowly walk out from the crowd. When a middle-aged man appeared, the crowd immediately became restless and looked surprised. That's Mad Scissors, Li Mao. It said that he once fought a level 4 Yuan Dan cultivator without losing a single battle. Mad Scissors, Li Mao, is a forthright person who loves to stand up for injustice. It seems like he's here because he can't stand the Yu family's overbearing behavior. The three of them are quite lucky. With Mad Scissors, Li Mao's help, and their mount's help, they should be able to keep their lives. When the coarse middle-aged man appeared, the crowd immediately whispered among themselves. They were glad for Mo Qingyun and the other two. When the coarse middle-aged man appeared, Mo Qingyun and the other two were surprised. They were surprised by this scene. They had actually met a hero who stood up for injustice. While Mo Qingyun and the other two were surprised, Li Mao walked up to Mo Qingyun and smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun. "Kid, you don't have to be afraid. With me, Li Mao, here today, I won't let them hurt you. Thank you for your kindness." But when he heard Li Mao's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and thanked him. However, before Mo Qingyun could finish his words, Li Mao rushed out and waved his scissors at Lin Liangxian. When they saw Li Mao's actions, Mo Qingyun and Mo Feiyu looked at each other helplessly. The scene in front of them was beyond their expectations. This Li Mao was really impatient. He didn't say anything and directly started fighting with Lin Liangxian. When he saw this, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything else and let Li Mao and Lin Liangxian fight. After all, Li Mao had good intentions, and he couldn't reject him directly. Mad Scissors, Li Mao, don't meddle in this. It won't do you any good to offend the Yu family. When he saw Li Mao charging towards Lin Liangxian, Yu Jing's expression became nervous, and he threatened Li Mao. From this, it could be seen that he was still wary of Li Mao and was worried that Lin Liangxian wouldn't be a match for Li Mao. After all, Li Mao was famous and had fought with a 4th-level Yuan Dan before. His strength couldn't be underestimated. If he were to defeat Lin Liangxian, it would be troublesome. So what if I offend the Yu family? At most, I'll just leave Pine Tripod City. In the 100 countries battlefield, your Yu family can't control everything. When he heard Yu Jing's threat, Li Mao looked at him with disdain and replied with disdain. "Li Mao, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Lin Liangxian's face darkened when he saw Li Mao attacking him. He took out a 3-section staff and swung it at Li Mao. Subsequently, Li Mao and Lin Liangxian started fighting. The battle was in full swing, and they were evenly matched. At first glance, Li Mao and Lin Liangxian were evenly matched. Li Mao is so strong. He's actually evenly matched with Lin Liangxian. It seems like the rumors are true. Li Mao can really fight with a 4th-level Yuan Dan. However, it'll be difficult for Li Mao to defeat Lin Liangxian. After all, Lin Liangxian hasn't used his full strength yet. When the surrounding people saw the battle between Li Mao and Lin Liangxian, their expressions changed and they sighed. I didn't expect Li Mao to have such strength. He really lives up to his reputation. Mo Feiyu had a look of admiration as he watched Li Mao fight with Lin Liangxian, and he sighed emotionally. When Mo Feiyu exclaimed, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn, and he said in a deep voice, "Although Li Mao's strength is invincible among those of the same level, he's still not strong enough to defeat Lin Liangxian. I'm afraid he'll be defeated within 10 moves." When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu's expression changed, and he looked at Li Mao and Lin Liangxian again. Chapter 283. As expected, Li Mao was defeated after 10 moves. He was sent flying by Lin Liangxian's staff. Puffed. Li Mao's face turned red after being hit by Lin Liangxian's staff. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura weakened. He really lost after 10 moves. Mo Feiyu's expression changed when he saw that Li Mao was defeated after 10 moves. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. He really didn't expect Mo Qingyun to guess so accurately. This kind of eyesight was really too frightening. However, when he thought that Mo Qingyun was his son, he was secretly delighted. With such a son, what more could he ask for? Oomph. You overestimate yourself. After sending Li Mao flying with a single move, Lin Liangxian revealed an arrogant expression and spoke disdainfully to Li Mao. Mad scissors Li Mao. That's all there is to you. Yu Jing smiled proudly when he saw that Li Mao was defeated by Lin Liangxian. He sneered at Li Mao and said, "Aren't you awesome? Get up now. How dare you meddle in my family's business? I'll make you wish you were dead today." Ha ha. Yu Jing turned to look at Mo Qingyun after he said that. He smiled proudly and said, "Kid, Li Mao has been defeated by Guardian Lin. I want to see who can save you now. We'll kill your mount later. See how I'll deal with you then." Ha ha. Yu Jing looked like a villain who had gotten what he wanted. Why should I let others save me? Mo Qingyun smiled when he heard Yu Jing's words. He said disdainfully, "You guys can't do anything to us." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, a mocking smile appeared on Yu Jing's face. He sneered and said, "Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue when you talk big? After we kill Li Mao and your mount, you could just wait for me to beat you up." Yu Jing's face turned cold after he said that. He said to Lin Liangxian, "Guardian Lin, kill Li Mao first. We'll deal with the three of them later." All right. Lin Liangxian did not hesitate when he heard Yu Jing's words. He raised his hand and attacked Li Mao. Stop. Mo Feiyu's expression changed when he saw Lin Liangxian's actions. He charged towards Lin Liangxian, intending to stop him from killing Li Mao. However, just as Mo Feiyu was about to attack, a figure arrived first and blocked Lin Liangxian's attack. Bang! Their palms collided, and a muffled bang resounded. After that, a shocking storm of origin energy swept out. Under this elemental energy storm, the figure that had saved Li Mao and Lin Liangxian were both forced to retreat. After seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed. They were somewhat surprised by this unforeseen event. Moments later, the elemental energy storm dissipated, and everyone clearly saw the person who saved Li Mao. After seeing this person, everyone's expression changed again, revealing a shocked expression. That person is Yin Yuan. I heard that he and Li Mao are brothers who have gone through thick and thin together. It's said that Yin Yuan is a master of lightness techniques. Plus, he's a fourth-tier Yuan Dan. With him around, Li Mao and the others should be fine. That's right. Those three are really lucky to have people helping them one after another. Seeing Yin Yuan's appearance, everyone's expression changed again. They were somewhat impressed by Mo Qingyun and the other two's luck. After saving Li Mao, Yin Yuan smiled faintly and asked Li Mao with concern, "Big Scissors, are you all right?" "I won't die for now." Li Mao grimaced. He endured the pain from his injuries and stood up with a bitter smile. "However, if you hadn't come, I'm afraid I would have been in danger. Go rest at the side first. I'll avenge you later." Yin Yuan instructed Li Mao. He was about to attack Lin Liangxian to avenge Li Mao. Just as Yin Yuan was about to attack, Mo Qingyun walked to his side and smiled faintly. "Brother Yin Yuan, help Brother Li Mao to the side to heal first. Leave the rest to us." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yin Yuan sized up Mo Qingyun and smiled faintly. "Little brother, I appreciate your kindness. However, I will avenge Big Scissors personally. So, please take care of him for me." After asking Mo Qingyun for help, Yin Yuan's expression turned cold. He moved and charged towards Lin Liangxian. Seeing that Yin Yuan had killed Lin Liangxian, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything else. He helped Li Mao to the side to heal. After helping Li Mao to the side, Mo Qingyun took out a bottle of pills and handed it to Li Mao. "Brother Li Mao, here's some pills. Take them, and they will help you heal faster." Pills. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Li Mao revealed a trace of hesitation, considering whether or not he should accept Mo Qingyun's medicinal pills. "Thank you, little brother." After a moment of hesitation, Li Mao finally accepted the pills and thanked Mo Qingyun. Li Mao hesitated because he thought that Mo Qingyun, who was only at the 5th level of the true element realm, wouldn't be able to take out any good pills. However, considering Mo Qingyun's good intentions, he couldn't directly refuse. He might as well accept it. This is a high 5th grade pill, the Jade Nourishing Yuan Dan. But after Li Mao opened the bottle, his expression froze. He was shocked and couldn't believe his eyes. The Jade Nourishing Yuan Dan was a high 5th grade pill. This was an extremely rare pill. One pill was worth at least 1,000,000 elemental spirit stones. Now, Mo Qingyun had given him more than 10 pills. In other words, Mo Qingyun had given him nearly 10 million elemental spirit stones. After receiving this result, Li Mao was stunned. He looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief. Mo Qingyun was actually so rich. After a brief moment of shock, Li Mao revealed an awkward expression. He handed the Jade Nourishing Yuan Dan to Mo Qingyun and said, "Little brother, this pill is too precious. I can't accept it. It's just a few pills. Brother Li Mao, you don't have to worry about it." Seeing Li Mao's actions, Mo Qingyun's impression of him improved a bit. He waved his hand and said, "Besides, your injuries were caused by us. Take these pills as my thanks. If you're willing to be friends with me, then don't refuse." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Li Mao didn't refuse. He smiled and said, "If that's the case, then I'll accept them." Then Li Mao swallowed the Jade Nourishing Yuan Dan and began to refine and absorb it to heal his injuries. At this moment, while Li Mao was recovering from his injuries, Yin Yuan and Lin Liangxian were already fighting. Yin Yuan's cultivation was at the 4th level of the Yuan dance stage. In comparison, he was slightly stronger than Li Mao. However, Yin Yuan specialized in movement techniques and was weaker in offense. Therefore, his attacks weren't much of a threat to Lin Liangxian. Looks like Yin Yuan isn't a match for Lin Liangxian. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun frowned as he guessed the result of the battle between Yin Yuan and Yin Di. After about 15 minutes, Yin Yuan was gradually at a disadvantage. Seeing this, Mo Feiyu's expression turned serious. He asked Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, should we help Yin Yuan?" Hearing Mo Feiyu's words, Mo Qingyun pondered for a while and said, "Yin Yuan's wind ultimacy is about to reach the 2nd level. Let him continue to fight with Lin Liangxian. It will help him to comprehend the wind ultimacy. We don't have to do anything for now." After listening to Mo Qingyun's explanation, Mo Feiyu also realized that Yin Yuan's wind ultimacy was about to break through. Then, he was impressed by Mo Qingyun's eyesight. It was hard to believe that someone at the 5th level of the true energy realm could have such eyesight. Then, Mo Qingyun and the other two stood aside and silently watched the battle between Lin Liangxian and Yin Yuan. After an hour, Yin Yuan was finally defeated by Lin Liangxian and was sent flying by Lin Liangxian's rod. After Yin Yuan was sent flying, his face immediately turned pale. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth as he looked at Lin Liangxian unwillingly. Just a little bit more, and his wind ultimacy would reach the 2nd level. As long as his wind ultimacy reached the 2nd level, he would be able to fight Lin Liangxian head-on. Lin Liangxian was well aware of Yin Yuan's thoughts. After sending Yin Yuan flying with a blow, he sneered and said, "What a pity. You were so close to a breakthrough in your wind ultimacy. If you had level 2 wind ultimacy, it would be hard to say who would emerge victorious between us." Hearing Lin Liangxian's words, Yin Yuan's face darkened and he was furious. "Brother Yin Yuan, there's no need to be angry. Go and heal yourself first. Leave the rest to me." Seeing the anger on Yin Yuan's face, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He walked to his side and said, "Also, your wind profound meaning has always focused on speed. Perhaps you can study it from the aspect of gentleness. Soft." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yin Yuan's eyes lit up and he was enlightened. At this moment, it was as if he had been enlightened by someone. "Thank you for your advice, little brother. I will remember your kindness." Then, without hesitation, Yin Yuan walked to the side and thought about Mo Qingyun's words. When Yin Yuan walked to the side, Mo Qingyun gave him a bottle of jade, nourishing Yuan Dan for him to refine and absorb to heal his injuries. Seeing that Yin Yuan and Li Mao were injured by Lin Liangxian, Yu Jing laughed proudly and said, "Boy, no one is coming to help you now. You'd better accept your death." After saying that, Yu Jing smiled evilly and looked at Wang Zishu, who was beside Mo Qingyun. He sneered and said, "Boy, don't say that I didn't give you a chance. Now, give me your mount and let the beauty beside you accompany me for 3 days. If I'm satisfied, I'll spare your life." You seem to be happy too early. Hearing Yu Jing's words, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold, and he said coldly, "I've said that you guys can't do anything to us." As soon as he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Jing revealed a disdainful expression, and he said indifferently, "Kid, you sure talk big. However, it's useless to just talk big. You're probably relying on your mount, right? Once I kill your mount, I'll make you die in the span of a breath. Also, do you want me to give you some time to wait and see if anyone else will come to help you?" Yu Jing said proudly. At the moment, he was simply arrogant to the extreme. It seemed as though he believed that he had Mo Qingyun in his grasp. "Don't bother." Hearing Yu Jing's words, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold, and he gave Savage Beast an order. Soon after, the Savage Beast let out a loud roar. It lifted its gigantic palm and viciously slammed towards Lin Liangxian and the rest. Bang! Under Savage Beast's huge palm, Yu Rao and the others, as well as Lin Liangxian, who was a level 4 Yuan Dan stage martial artist, were all smashed into meat patties. Seeing this scene, Yu Jing was stunned. He couldn't accept this result. One slap, more than 10 Yuan Dan stage martial artists were killed, including a level 4 Yuan Dan stage martial artist. At this moment, Yu Jing felt that he was an idiot. It turned out that in Mo Qingyun's eyes, they weren't even worth mentioning. All this time, it was just his own wishful thinking. He thought that Mo Qingyun and the others were weak. After being stunned for a short moment, Yu Jing revealed a terrified expression as she looked at Mo Qingyun and said in shock, Your mount isn't at the 3rd level of the Origin Core stage. Could it be that he's at the 5th level of the Origin Core stage? Level 5 Yuan Dan stage martial artist? Chapter 284. You're not going to kill me? Yu Jing was shocked when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He could not believe his ears. Mo Qingyun was not going to kill him and even asked him to go back and get reinforcements. Was there such a good thing? Mo Qingyun's face darkened when he saw the doubt on Yu Jing's face. He said coldly, "If you don't leave now, I'm going to change my mind." Yu Jing did not dare to stay any longer when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He immediately ran toward the city lord's mansion. After Yu Jing ran far away, Li Mao, who was recovering from his injuries, stopped cultivating and opened his eyes. He stood up. After the treatment, just now, and with the help of Yu Jin's Yuan Dan, his injuries had mostly recovered. Li Mao stood up and walked toward Mo Qingyun and the other two. He said gratefully to Mo Qingyun, "Thank you for the elixir. May I know your name?" "Mo Qingyun." Mo Qingyun replied calmly and said, "Since Brother Li's injuries have recovered, we'll take our leave first. If Brother Li wants to look for me, you can wait for Brother Yin to finish his treatment and come to the City Lord's mansion with me." City Lord's mansion? Li Mao was confused when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He did not understand what Mo Qingyun meant. Weren't Lin Liangxian and the others who were killed by Mo Qingyun from the City Lord mansion? Logically speaking, Mo Qingyun could not be from the City Lord's mansion since he killed Lin Liangxian and the others. However, if that was the case, why did Mo Qingyun ask him to go to the City Lord's mansion to look for him? Li Mao was very confused at this moment. Mo Qingyun did not explain further to Li Mao's confusion. He believed that Li Mao would understand his words soon enough. Then, Mo Qingyun leaped onto the savage beast's back and said to Mo Fiyu and Zishu, "Father, Zishu, let's go to the City Lord's mansion." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Feiyu and Mo Feiyu leaped onto the savage beast's back. Then, Mo Qingyun and the other two rode savage beast towards the city lord's mansion. Moments later, Mo Qingyun's group of 3 arrived at the Castellan Manor. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun and the other 2 arrived at the city governor's estate, Yu Jing was leading some people out of the city governor's estate. From the looks of it, it seemed like they were going to find Mo Qingyun to avenge Yu Rao and the others. The moment they saw Mo Qingyun and the other 2 arrive, the expressions of Yu Jing and the others immediately changed, revealing great surprise. Mo Qingyun and the other 2 actually came directly to the city governor's estate. Were they walking right into a trap? After being stunned for a short while, Yu Jing revealed a complacent smile. He looked at Mo Qingyun and sneered, "Kid, you've got guts. You actually dare to come to the city governor's estate." Hearing Yu Jing's words, Mo Qingyun glanced at him with a faint smile and joked, "You've got guts too. You actually dared to speak to me like that. Do you think that finding a few 5th or 6th level Yuan dance stage reinforcements can guarantee your safety?" Oomph. One arrogant brat. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Pine Cauldron City's city governor Yu Zhao's face darkened. He said coldly, "Kid, don't think that just because you have a 5th level Yuan dance stage mount, you can do whatever you want. That's exactly what I think. What can you do about it?" Hearing Yu Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun still had a faint smile on his face. His eyes revealed a trace of mockery and indifference. "Kid, it seems like you don't know the meaning of there's always someone better than you." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Zhao's face darkened. He said coldly, "In this Yuan dance stage battlefield, a 5th level Yuan dance stage demonic beast mount won't let you do whatever you want. Today, I'll let you know that it's better to keep a low profile." At this moment, after Yu Zhao finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. He looked at Mo Qingyun's side with a face full of surprise and said in a shocked voice, "Mo Feiyu, I didn't expect you to be with this kid. Could it be that you're the same as this kid? You think that just because you got a 5th level Yuan dance stage demonic beast mount, you can come and take revenge on us?" "You guessed it right. We do think so." Hearing Yu Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun still had a faint smile on his face. The mockery in his eyes deepened. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the crowd in the mayor's mansion immediately burst into laughter. They looked at Mo Qingyun and the other 2 with mockery. This kid really knows how to joke. He really thinks that he's invincible just because he has a 5th level Yuan dance stage demonic beast mount. "Kid, do you think that your mount is a Dan Palace stage expert? That you could do whatever you want in this Yuan dance stage battlefield? Later, don't kill that kid yet. I'll kill his mount first and let him die in despair." At this moment, the crowd in the mayor's mansion sneered. They were thinking of how to torture Mo Qingyun later. Looking at their expressions, it was as if victory was already in their hands. As long as they made a move, they would be able to easily beat Mo Qingyun. While the crowd sneered, Yu Jing revealed a complacent sneer again. He looked at Mo Qingyun and said coldly, "Kid, I'll give you a chance to call for reinforcements. However, do you have reinforcements? Your 2 reinforcements are still recuperating, right?" "Ha! I don't need reinforcements to deal with you guys." Hearing Yu Jing's words, Mo Qingyun's face remained calm as he replied with a faint smile, "Puffed, don't act tough in front of me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Jing was like a villain who had achieved success. He said arrogantly, "Kid, you asked me to call for reinforcements. Now that I've called for reinforcements, let's see how I'll torture you later. I'll let you know that there's a price to pay for acting tough. All right, Yu Jing, don't waste your breath on this kid." At this moment, just as Yu Jing was about to continue speaking, Yu Zhao interrupted him and said to the few Yuan dance stage 5 powerhouses, "Yulei, Yuquan, Yuyang Song, the few of you go deal with that stage 5 Yuan dance stage 5 mount." "Yes, Mayor." Hearing Yu Zhao's order, Yulei and the others immediately responded. They sneered as they walked toward Mo Qingyun. "To be honest, I really can't bear to kill a stage 5 Yuan dance stage 5 mount. However, In order to see this kid's heartbroken expression after his mount dies, I have no choice but to kill this mount, Yu Quan sneered as he added. Immediately, Yu Quan and the others attacked Savage Beast, releasing a terrifying aura from their bodies. Gushing spring sword technique, pines and cranes, traveling rolling thunder mountain splitting saber. As soon as Yulei and the others attacked, they did not hold back. It was as though they were prepared to finish off Savage Beast in one move. When Yulei and the others attacked, Savage Beast also raised his huge palm and slammed it toward Yulei and the others. Dang, dang, dang. The weapons in Yulei and the others' hands clashed against Savage Beast's palm, producing a crisp sound. However, under their attacks, Savage Beast's palm did not seem to be injured at all. Not even a mark was left on it. How? How could this be? When they saw this scene, Yulei and the other two were instantly dumbfounded. Their faces were filled with fear, and their faces turned pale. Savage Beast's strength was far beyond their imagination. Perhaps it was because they were too afraid that Yulei and the other two had forgotten to resist or dodge the attacks of the Savage Beasts. Bang! When Savage Beast's huge palm landed, it immediately produced an earth-shattering sound and set off a cloud of dust. Origin energy was wreaking havoc. Soon after, the ground was dyed red with blood. Yulei and the others were dead. Under Savage Beast's palm, the three of them were directly smashed into meat paste. They were deader than dead. 3 5th-level Yuan dance stage powerhouses were dead in one move. Seeing this scene, the smiles on Yu Zhao and the others' faces instantly froze. They did not expect Savage Beast's strength to be so strong. Was he really a 5th-level Yuan dance stage martial artist? If that was the case, then this Yuan dance stage martial artist strength was a little too awesome. How? How could this be? Seeing this scene, Yu Jing's face immediately turned pale as though he had seen a ghost. He said in fright, Could it be that he's not a 5th-level Yuan dance stage martial artist? As soon as this thought appeared, Yu Jing panicked. He seemed to have gotten himself into big trouble this time. He had actually provoked such a terrifying enemy for the Yu family. Yu Jing, didn't you say that he's only a 5th-level Yuan dance stage martial artist? At this moment, while Yu Jing was panicking, Yu Zhao, who was standing at the side, berated Yu Jing with a ferocious expression. This kid actually misreported Savage Beast's true strength twice in a row. He was really too stupid. From the strength that Savage Beast had displayed, it was very likely that he was an advanced Yuan dance stage powerhouse. This was because Yu Zhao, who was a 6th-level Yuan dance stage martial artist, believed that he would not be able to kill Yulei and the others as easily and cleanly as Savage Beast. An advanced Yuan dance stage powerhouse was not someone that the Yu family could afford to provoke. At this moment, Yu Zhao and the others suddenly understood one thing. Mo Qingyun and the others did not come to the city governor's estate to walk into a trap. Instead, they were fearless. After realizing this, Yu Zhao smiled faintly and said to Mo Qingyun with a flattering smile, Little brother, Brother Feiyu, it was all a misunderstanding earlier. Everything happened because of this good-for-nothing rascal, Yu Jing. I'll hand him over to you now. You can do whatever you want with him. Second uncle, please don't. As soon as he heard Yu Zhao's words, Yu Jing's face was filled with terror as he begged Yu Zhao. He knew that Yu Zhao was going to sacrifice him to protect the Yu family. Begging for mercy when you can't win? There's no such thing in this world. After hearing Yu Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him in disdain and ordered Savage Beast, send them on their way. Yes, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Savage Beast responded respectfully and immediately raised his hand to attack the Yu family members. At this moment, Savage Beast no longer concealed his aura. Pill Palace. As Savage Beast released his aura, Yu Zhao and the others' hearts trembled and their faces turned ashen. Pill Palace. Mo Qingyun's mount was actually a Pill Palace Rel powerhouse. At this moment, they finally understood why Mo Qingyun dared to be so unrestrained. With a Pill Palace Rel powerhouse by his side, Mo Qingyun and the other two had nothing to fear in the Yuan Dan stage battlefield. Just as Yu Zhao and the others were filled with fear, a huge elemental energy palm appeared in midair and blasted towards them. Bang! As the palm landed, Yu Zhao and the others were instantly annihilated and turned into meat paste. Seeing this scene, Yu Jing's legs went soft, and he knelt in front of Mo Qingyun in fear. He begged for mercy. Big brother, please don't kill me. I know I was wrong. I gave you a chance to call for reinforcements. You didn't grasp it well. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore Yu Jing's pleas and said coldly, "Also, let me tell you something. There's a price to pay for acting tough. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."